I love the flip switch challenge you did with your husband. That was amazing.
That made my morning. Like I laughed so hard when I saw that.
I'm still like wondering when the walls are gonna fall down because I'm like,
That made my morning. I was just wondering how she was able to get him to do that.
hold
That
on,
was amazing.
Are y'all talking about our TikTok?
Yes.
walls are gonna
Yeah.
fall down because I'm like,
That made my morning.
The way something like that happened, hang on, let's turn it off. The way something like that happens is my husband, sorry, there's something flying. Oh, hang on, a spider. Oh, y'all, I can't stand spiders. Okay, that should be a TikTok too. My husband, look at me. My husband will do anything. He's a very quiet man, but he will do anything. And he saw Amelia and I do our other TikTok, and he was like, oh. So Amelia picked another TikTok for us, and that's the one she picked. And he did it, y'all. And what's sad, I guess I got some more weight to lose. What's sad is she watched it and she looked at me and she looked at her daddy and she said, we all wear about the same size clothes. That'll work. I went, oh my gosh. It's not what I needed to hear. But no, y'all, he did it. He did it. And then Monique sent me a message going, what is that on his head? And I'm like, we don't have any wigs. We don't have any wigs. So did it make y'all laugh? Did y'all enjoy that?
Yes.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
I
we
had to watch
did.
it
I
again.
did.
so that brings us kind of right to the topic today. What are the
Uh-oh.
what? Well, it ain't gonna be about Rick and TikTok, but it is about what's funny. It is about what makes us cry. It is about what makes us laugh. It is about what makes us successful and what makes us unsuccessful. What lacks interpretation? What cannot be interpreted? Think about that for a second. What cannot be interpreted? Love, right? What is a law? What is a law that governs you? What? Yeah, but no, but Brittney, I see what you're saying, love. But what is love for you? Do you have different versions of your love? Do you have different versions of your success? Do you interpret happiness for yourself? Do you interpret love for yourself? Do you interpret sadness for yourself? What is the law by which you are governed? Somebody can give you love and then piss you off and break it. That's only expectation. That wasn't love. That was expectation we had. When somebody says they're going to go to work for you and they say they're going to sign up and they're going to get started and they don't, that's expectation. Let's not get confused. So what are the laws that you are going to be governed by? What is the law? Listen, if you're going to perform something and it has to produce a result, there are certain rules you have to follow. Not everything has a unique interpretation, Monique. I hear what you're saying, and that's giving us slack. That's giving us room. There's things we will accept and things we won't accept, but there's still a law. There's a law that governs us. And there is a level of love. Like when you came to meet me the other day, there was a level of friendship and love and COVID that was in the middle of all of it. And there was all of this conversation. And I believe it exceeded my expectations, our first meeting. It exceeded our expectations as much as I loved. Didn't expect to have the blessings of your entire family there. And my love for you got even bigger. But now if all of a sudden you never showed up on a call again, I'd be, oh, it wouldn't make me love you any less. these ideas, these when you start to get down to what, sometimes we've all heard the term brass tacks. When you sit across from your prospect, when you sit across from your family member, do you treat your family member the same way? Sometimes our prospects get treated better than our family members. Sometimes our dogs get treated better than our family members or our relatives. But what are the rules that guide you? The reason I ask that is there's a couple of things that I've heard recently. No one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. No one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. So when you do act publicly, what are you promoting? What are you becoming? Who are you becoming? Right? How many of us have seen people achieve wild success and some stories come up, well, they sold their soul to the devil. How does that even come across that idea could even come up, that somebody sold their soul to the devil? Why would they do that? To avoid the work, to avoid the exposure. Since you're doing these things, show yourself to the world, for even his own brothers didn't believe in him. How many of you are hanging around your brothers trying to build your business? Your quote brothers and quote sisters trying to build your business. How many of you are letting their interpretation, their expectation of you, what they see you as? Listen, my family still thinks I'm nuts. Now they have some reasons for that, but for a variety of other reasons, but they cannot believe it's been 22 years in this profession. 22 years. Now I've done other things. I've run other businesses. I'm running other businesses now. But you know what my plan B is? Traditional business. How about that for a little? Put that in your sock and smoke it. My alternate income is traditional business. How many people are falling into that mindset right now? I got to build the name that's on my mailbox. If I ain't building the name that's on my mailbox, I don't know how much I can count on them. So I was reading in a good book. It said they were asking Jesus to go to a festival, and he said, I can't go. It's not my time yet. But for you, now this is, I think, for all of us, but for you, any time will work. What are you waiting on? What are we waiting on? What am I waiting on? What am I waiting on? What time, what calendar, what celestial body am I waiting to align with Jupiter and Pluto and Mars? You know how hard it was to not say Uranus? To Pluto and Mars and Venus. What celestial calendar am I waiting on for it to be my time? What excuse will I use? What reason that I'm not good enough or don't have the right timing? It's not the best time. What excuse? Anytime will work for you. Why? Because they don't hate you. This really gets into the into the whole idea of addiction to approval. When he did go, he went in secret. When he went to the festival, he went in secret. So what festival are you going to in secret? Well, the only festival we're all going to right now is the festival of life. What festival are you going to in secret? Well, yeah, I'm gonna act as, I got to put on my clothes and get my hair done. Are you going to I don't know what's the word. I'm trying to think of the word. What? So, hey kids out there. Help me with the terminology when somebody shows up and they're not real. We used to say back in the day, right? Back when the dinosaurs were roaming, we'd call them a poser. Yeah, talk about how freaking 1970s is that. What's the terminology today? What would be a term you would use for somebody? You would say that somebody is in secret. Oh, capping. Oh my God, a capper. Oh my gosh. Man, I would never know what that is. So how many of you are capping out in the world? Are going out capping? It doesn't even sound right coming out of my cake hole, does it? But that's really what it is. They're hiding themselves. Right? In Texas, we say they're all hat, no cattle. They're all hat, no cattle. Right? What's the difference between cowboy boots and engineer boots? Cowboy boots, the bullshit's on the outside. Nothing. Dana, I love you. It's just a joke. So where are you going that you're not being true to yourself? Listen, some of you think clothes make you. I get it. They make you look sharp. You got nice threads. You got all good stuff. Why? Why? For what? Who really gives a rat's patootie? Are they being inspired by your outerwear? You know why they can't sit through a meeting is because when they get to your underwear, your innerwear, the thing that you're carrying over top of you. If you just show yourself up, what law governs you? This law of I have to put on airs. I have to make myself up to be somebody that I'm not. Listen, I've been in 40 meetings since Monday. 40 meetings since Monday. And somehow I keep getting invited back to them. Somehow I keep guiding the conversations. And I have no idea why. But I'm telling you this. I had 178 of my team on a call last night. 178 on a Sunday night. 7 countries. It doesn't matter the language. It does not matter the language. People need connection right now. They don't need to know what your dress is. They don't need to know what your jacket is or your scarf is or your shoes are. They need to know where is your heart and what law governs you. They were amazed at how did this man get such learning without having been taught. How did you get such learning without having been taught? How did you get, listen to me. First of all, what are you being taught? You get taught your company, your comp plan. That's all absolutely incredibly important information. You get taught how to say, where to say, what to do. You leverage each other. We are all supposed to do that. The 3-way, the Zoom, the conversation, the interview. We all get to do this. We're being taught how to communicate. We're being taught from the very essence of this profession how to connect with people. But let me ask you this. Why do people still sit in their apartments and go, I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not short enough. I can't do this. I need 2 people to keep my back office open. I need this. I need that. Why do we get so fearful? How did you learn so much about being stuck without ever being taught? Did you ever ask yourself that? How did you learn so much about being miserable, about being frustrated without ever being taught? Because you were taught. This is out of John, and Jesus answers, he says, my teachings are not my own. They come from the one who sent me. That, I think, is the issue. If we get stuck in our own self, who sent you? Who sent you? Listen, you hear me talk about the stories of my mom being an alcoholic and the arguments and being the baby, and my brothers having friends, or at least knowing how to go outside quicker than me. You know, how many of you remember cleaning up the table and all of a sudden one of your brothers goes, not it, last one says, not it, and you're the last one always saying, not it? Well, that was me when I was growing up. I was the one that used to have to sit and rub mom's back and do all that stuff. So who taught you? Who's the one that brought you here? This is when we have transitions in our life. This is when we have awakenings in our life. Your messages are not your own. They were learned by the one who brought you here. This is what we talk about in network marketing, duplication. We talk about duplication. Well, are they duplicating? Did they make their list of 100 people? Are they showing the plan? Did they put pennies in their pocket? And are they showing the plan, moving the pennies? How many times did you show the plan today? All of that's out the window. All of that has always been out the window for me, but all of that I believe is out the window right now. Here's what I know based on my numbers, based on the facts that I have. People are starving to join us in business. And I say us, everyone on the call, all 80 of us. They are starving to join us in business. But you know what? They don't want a business. You know what? They don't want a comp plan. You know what? They don't want 2 pills twice a day with food and water. They don't want a technology that allows them to pick up the arbitrage between trades. They don't want a business that gives them amazing, unique fluid that allows their cells to reproduce and their cells to regenerate at a highest level. They don't want a product aloe base that is absolutely incredible like nothing else in the world. They don't want leadership and management that is absolutely incredible. They don't want somebody in their life who's making 7 figures. They don't want any of that. Right now, they want love. They want unadulterated, unfettered, unfiltered reality, relationship. And until such time, your competition is not another comp plan, is not another product line, is not another corporate management team, is not another how many years in business. Your competition is who can love faster, who can hear deeper. My teachings are not my own. It comes from the one who sent me. Anyone who chooses to do the will of God will find out whether my teachings come from God or I speak of my own. What's the laws that govern you? How many of you, and some of you probably have, how many of you have, when you have communicated with people, pointed them in the right direction to another business model? How many of you have and you don't have to answer this. I'm not looking for an answer. What I am looking for is how much of the conversation becomes about you. How many of you have ever said, we need to get them in? Think about your phrases. You listen, if you've been on here at any time at all. Oh, by the way, let's hang on for just a second. Everybody take a big breath. Send out your 3. I got so fired up. Send out your 3 messages. I know some of you have already done that. Send out your 3 messages. If anybody's new on this call, drop an N in the chat and I'll explain it. Send out your 3 messages. So, Jimmy and all of you, wow, look at all the new folks. Hey, listen, here's the message. When I'm asking you to send out 3 messages, I want you to right now, if you can, take your phone and send out 3 messages to people you care about. 3 messages to 3 people who are pretty awesome in your community, in your life. And just say, hey, I was thinking of you. I appreciate you. Send them a smiley face. If they're really, really, really good friends, you could send them, you know, the chocolate pudding emoji, the smiley face that says, I love you. And you just get a giggle. Why do I ask you to send out 3 messages? Why do I ask you to send out messages of joy, of gratitude, of peace, of love? Because it makes more room. Right? If I have 3 books on my shelf and I take those 3 books off and I donate those 3 books, I send out 3 of my books. It means I have more space for more. The challenge is right now, too many people are hanging on to stuff. And the forced law of reciprocity says that when you send those messages out, if they are people that you connect with, you communicate with, you are in love with at an emotional level, you just absolutely, your day is better with them in it. When you send those out and they see those, they receive that, the forced law of reciprocity says they're going to send something back. And therefore you've just made space in their day so they can have more of what they want, less of what they don't. Human nature is so predictable. It is so predictable. If I say up, you say. If I say out, you say. If I say down, you say. Here's the thing. How did you not know? How did you know how to respond to those? How did you know I was going to say the opposite of those? Because we live in a law of polarity. We live in a law that says I can predict exactly what you're going to do. I know how human nature works. I know how human beings work. And I know when put in any given situation, there's an immediate and initial response that anybody will have depending upon the environment they sit in, because their personal reality makes up their personality. That's why I can sit across from somebody and have a conversation with them and ask them a series of questions. And at the end of it, they're jumping at the bit, chomping at the bit to say, let's go, let's get started. Because they're not enrolling for me, they're enrolling for them. And it's the first time in a long time they've heard the opportunity, the possibility that they have enough capability, capacity, and they absolutely are going to be loved for doing something different they've never done before. And they've got the courage to do something they've never done before because we painted a picture of something they've never seen before. Prospecting is easy. Having a conversation with somebody is difficult because normally they're monologues. Let me tell you what I'm about to tell you. And when I get done telling you, you're going to decide whether or not you want to join me. And if you do, outstanding. If not, you're an idiot. That's usually how most presentations go. They may not be that harsh, but that's the result. Whoever speaks on their own does so to gain personal glory. Are you prospecting to rank advance? Do you prospect to rank advance, to get into their wallet? Do you prospect so that you can show how far you've rank advanced? Does anybody know what level you're at when they're having a conversation with you? Think about this. How many times have you heard people present and prospect? They know what rank you're at. They know what level you're at. We've been doing this 403 times, 405 times. 90% of you don't know what company I'm in. Could you imagine somebody talking to you 405 times and you don't know what company they're in? How many of you introduce people based on their rank? Your teachings are not your own. They come from the one who sent you. If you're talking about what rank you're at, you ain't your own person. That's not who you are. This is a business. Nobody cares what rank you're at. This is a business. And you know what business they're in? They're in the business of trying to get their life in order. How is your rank going to make their life better? They don't even know what the hell it is. They don't. I'm a super 14-star Grand Poobah, and next week I'm getting my Fez hat. Oh, a Fez hat? You're getting a Fez hat next week? Oh my gosh, I'm so lucky that I found you. Can I sign up right now? Now, if you're getting some objections to that, let's talk about that. If you're having some questions about that, let's talk about that. Because I can tell you, a lot of people, that's an issue. But then there's the other side. Sometimes we don't want to talk about our title because we really haven't achieved anything yet. Listen, here's one that's going to hit you, flick you right between the eyes. Yeah, I heard that, Leo. I love you. That's why we're so connected. Here's one going to flick you right between the eyes. Can you do me a favor? Do me a favor. If you want to play along, if you want to take your success, if you want to unlock your success and easily advance to the next level of your personal success. We're not talking about building a company here. We're not talking about building a comp plan or a team or anything else. If you want to take you to the next level, do me a favor, answer this question. If I were to walk to your mailbox, do me a favor and in the chat, type the name I would find on your mailbox. Okay, 1 out of 92. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Freeman and Lentz and don't have a mailbox. Okay, so if somebody were to send you something, Stacy, how would they address a check to you? What would they send it to? How would they address your reward? Where would they send it to? Okay, you know what I'm looking here? I have yet to see a company name. I haven't seen Herbalife. I haven't seen Amway. I haven't seen Prove It. I haven't seen New Skin. I haven't seen Modere. I haven't seen any of these. Huh. You didn't spell it right. So, Rika, if they were going to send you a check, they would make it out to IM? No, Miguel, you're not the company. You're Monique. She is her company. But you're Miguel, where you say I am the company, you're not the company. I'm not my company. You know what I build? I build me. And I teach other people how to build themselves. You guys, I say you guys, editorially, network marketing teaches you to build a company. It teaches you how to build a comp plan. It teaches you how to present. That's called salespeople. You're not salespeople. You're independent business contractors. Listen, I stand in front of my team down in Latin America and do the same thing. I said it on stage in front of all of the corporate people. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. You are not the company. You are not the comp plan. You are not the product. You are not the back office. When you start building you, man, life gets so much easier. When you start to build other people, life gets so much easier. When you fall in love with the gift you've been given to tell your story and help other people tell theirs, that's it. You have a BC and an AC before your company and after your company. You know, I've been in the business 22 years. About 18 months ago, I fell in love with a company that allowed me to have more free time with my family. They're absolutely paying me to teach other people how to become healthier. They're absolutely paying me to travel to 6 countries in the last 18 months. They're absolutely rewarding me because I've been able to allow them to share in my connections. that I only knew a handful of them, but those connections have absolutely bloomed like a field of daisies and a field of flowers, and has turned into over 30,000 people that it's allowed me to continue to take care of my family. What's the name of the company? Does it matter? You didn't know it before I started telling you the story. What does it matter now that you know it afterwards, the story? Are you looking for a reason to get started or a reason not to? This is your moment. This is your time. Can you do what I do? Probably not. Can I help you do what I do? Yeah, because why? I've walked before you have. I've already done it. The story I'm telling you is not my story. The story that we need to find out is your story. Can you have more of what you want, less of what you don't? Are you willing to give up some of the things that are holding you back right now that keep you awake on your pillow every morning when you wake up, and they're on your pillow when you go to sleep? Are you ready to change some of those things? Because if you are, we need to do this now. We need to do this when you're ready. You let me know when you're ready, because I am. But until you are, have a nice day. I know where my story comes from. This ain't about my personal glory. Because if it was, you'd be able to find me on the internet. I was on a call on Saturday with 40 amazing individuals, and they absolutely have connections around the world. And they're talking about, you know what? And the replay, I may take the replay down. I probably won't. I'll probably get all caught up in something and forget about it. Here's my point. I was on this call with people, and one is a branding expert. I mean, big branding expert, one of the most amazing branding experts in the world. Another one teaches you how to build online courses, and she teaches it specifically to women, how to build online courses. And another one is how to do e-commerce, and he's done e-commerce on all 7 continents, and he just sold a business for over $100 million that he built in 14 months. These are all rock stars. And I sit there going, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? They're not quite household names, but they're names you'd hear in the neighborhood. Let me put it that way. And I sit here, this farm boy on this call, and I'm one of 4 amazing coaches that's being asked to guide this new LinkedIn, if you will. And you know how I started off with all 40 people? Hey, do me a favor. Can we all just take a breath for a second? I'm going to help you with your story. The story you told up until the moment, the story you told in January will not work in March. The story you're telling in March won't work in April. The stories that you're hearing right now, the stories that you're going to go out and to tell the people, how many of those stories have changed? How much of your story has changed? Well, we got to be consistent. We got to say the same thing. How's that working for you? Right now, we're about to enter into a moment in history, a moment in time that has never existed before. And you're going to go with the old shit. You're going to go with the old story. You're going to say the same thing. How much of your conversation uses any of the words that it used in February? If it has, good luck. You are on the tail end of a new era. And right, the bell curve. You're either going to be an early adapter and find that flow, and then the tail end. Everybody's right here on the tail end right now of this old story, this old paradigm. And this tail end, you will still get there. There are the late adapters. There are the people going, you know, I've been thinking about this for years. I need to get in right now. And they're going to get in, but they ain't going to know what to say in the new story. They ain't going to know what to say in the new. Well, ours is global. Ours is a global conversation. Ours is a global thing. It has nothing to do with people, nothing to do with feelings. It has everything to do with technology, and it has everything to do with these 2 pills that you take in the morning and the afternoon. Our ingredients are the same. Really? We'll see you on the other side. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to find the law that governs you. You owe it to yourself to find the law that governs you. What will you do? What will you not do? What will you accept? What will you not accept? And it's time to draw a line in the sand. Today's the day you've had enough. Will you accept being 2nd place or 15th place in your own story? In your own story. Well, Sean, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm worth more. I know I'm capable of more. I know I want to do more. Whoever speaks their own word does so to gain personal glory. But he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is a man of truth. There is nothing false about him. Has not Moses given you the law? Yet none of you keeps the law. Why are you trying to kill me? Do you not know the law? Why are you trying to kill yourself? Why are you frustrated? Why do you sit in anger? Why do you sit in misery? Listen, some of you have had some very bad days. Here's the funny thing. Did you not make it through? How many of you, listen, how many of you, you can type this in the chat, how many of you would wish for just the most difficult of days of your past versus the unknown of the future? God, if this is nothing, I mean, I'd rather be going through blah, 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 blah than what I'm going through now. You know why you want to go through the misery of the past? Is because you knew you got through. Why not take the knowledge? Why not take the information to know that you got through? I don't have any money. I don't have this. I don't have that. Man, I don't know what to do. I've got this payment ready and I got to do that. It always works out. Sometimes you don't make the payment. Sometimes you don't make the payment and you lose whatever it was you lost. And you're like, you know what? That was the best thing that ever happened. Sometimes the love you had does walk away and you're like, I can't see it right now. I can't see. I'm in the middle of the fire. I can't see where there's anything good that comes out of this. Do you ever think that was a moment to test your faith? Your faith in you? Listen, this ain't no Bible study. Although it's not too bad. This is about you building you. I need you in this world. I don't need your company. You don't need my company. Our companies do not exist without us. Our companies do not exist without us. I need you. My mentor, my business partner, my sponsor. Round on our call last night. You want to talk about lead by example? God, it makes me feel so puny. You know how many customers she got last month, Rhonda? This month?
How many?
169 so far.
You're kidding me.
169.
Sister just throws it down like crazy, doesn't she? All kinds of love.
Personal, not on her team, Leo. Personal.
No, and she already has what, over 100,000 on the team?
Yeah.
Still going. Yeah, you have no idea what beastress this woman is, with a heart that is freaking unbelievable. Let's get her on our calls. You know, if she knew that 6:30 in the morning existed, we could get her on our calls. But I don't know that she knows that 6:30 in the morning exists.
You want me
to now?
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you what she did? Listen, yeah. I have no problem telling you exactly what she did. What does it matter what her name is? I mean, Zan, I appreciate that. Her name is Angel Fletcher. But we're looking to fraction the story when we put a name to it. But here's what she did. Listen, I asked you guys some of this before. How many names do you have in your phone? Some of you said 3,000. Some of you said 2,000. She's got 186,000 people's names in her phone. $186,000. It takes 17 days when she gets a new phone to transfer her data. In the last week, how many people have you reached out to said, I love you, I appreciate you, I think you're amazing? You sent them a neat message. You were thinking of them. You just sent them an individual message. In the last week, she's at over 4,000 people she's reached out to. She doesn't know them. She doesn't know all those people. Her why is because she can't stand to see somebody in pain. You know why?
Well, and
Go ahead.
add to that, Sean. This woman doesn't care about rank, level, title. She doesn't care about any of that. She is as accessible to someone that has been in the business for 20 years as she is to someone who walks in knowing nothing, and anyone in between. Her heart does not see titles and levels. Neither do her eyes. She sees your heart. And I had one moment with her in Las Vegas where you don't get her one-on-one with no one else around hardly ever. And I had one moment, I stayed in the penthouse with her, and I had one moment to where everybody, all the girls were in the bathrooms at the same time, and the guys were down the casino, and I looked around and I'm staring Angel Fletcher in the eye and there's no one there. And I looked at her and I said, okay, cut the bull crap. Don't blow smoke up my butt. Don't stroke me. What do I have to, honestly, what do I have to do to get to where you're at? And she looked at me and she took this big, deep breath like Angel does. And she kind of shook her head and she goes, if you could see you through my eyes, you would never have to ask this question to me and you would already know the answer. Because the potential I see in you, it hurts me that you can't see that. And I've got to do everything I can to get you to see the potential that I see in you. And y'all, when that came out of her mouth, I just looked at her. And then later I ran over there and I hugged her and I was like, what? And she goes, all these people in network marketing walk around and they think there's some secret and they want to be with the high rollers and they want to talk to me and get a one-on-one. She goes, if they just saw their potential, they'd be unstoppable. And that's what Sean's saying. Why are we not seeing our potential and then going and seeing the potential in others?
Because the story that guides us is not our own story, is not the one who sent us. When you were a 2-year-old, when you were a 3-year-old, barring any abusive childhood, but when you were 2 or 3 and 4 and 5, and you were laughing in a play box, playing with a cardboard box, were you more joyous then? Were you more filled with laughter then than you are now? 99% of the people say, oh, by far. Well, when did you know more? Then or now? Well, I know more now. Maybe that's a clue. Jim Rohn would say that's a clue. Have you ever sat down across from the table from a prospect and gotten giddy and went, I don't know what to say. I'm so excited to have this conversation. Or have you put on some kind of, you're going to show them what life is about. You're going to show them exactly why their life sucks. And you're going to teach them about an opportunity and a business plan and a comp plan and and a technology or 2 pills twice a day. And you're going to talk about this stuff and you're going to show them why their life has been so miserable. And boy, they should be ecstatic that they just met you. Well, that's not what I say. I don't say that. Is that the perfume you're wearing? Is that the cologne you're wearing? I'm better than you. Do you show up and your nails are better than your prospects? Do you show up and your hair is better than your prospect? Do you show up and your clothes are better than your prospect? Do your shoes cost more than their car? Really? Who are you trying to impress? Listen, I was there. You could listen, Leo. When your significant other decides to dress for success, can't she be in a robe and her hair in a bun? Can't you find that just absolutely the sexiest thing on the planet? So I understand the clothes make the man. This is the 1940s when we're coming out of the Depression. Clothes make the man. Hell, you can have a shirt that looks like shit and it's an $800 shirt. I get it. What I am saying is that you don't want, listen, you also don't want to make them look like you just rolled out of a gym either. And you just, now, how many of you have ever presented or prospected at the gym? Why were your clothes appropriate there? It's the person wearing them that needs to show up. You're absolutely right, Ashley. How many times, listen, Linda, listen. How many times have you walked into a room and you saw somebody's clothes and you felt inferior? And this was your own community. Ladies, I think this one hits you. I know it hits the guys. Guys, we love watches. At least I think we do. Watches and shoes. If you've ever walked in and you looked at somebody's clothes and you made a judgment about them based on their clothes, that you're not good enough, one day, I hope so. Yeah, the high school complex. It goes all the way back from high school. Why do you think Catholic schools, we all wore uniforms? You can have on good-looking clothes, but if the clothes are detracting from the conversation, if I can't pay attention to your clothes because I keep looking at your cleavage, or I can't pay attention to your clothes because I keep trying to figure out, what is that, a Robert Graham or is that a knockoff? Is that a this? Is that a that? Is that a real watch or is that a, you know, is the second hand on the Rolex, is it is it moving smoothly or does it tick? Is it Rolex with 2 X's or 1 X's? I can't see the small print. What's the story of the one who sent you? Show yourself to the world. For even his own brothers didn't believe in him. What stories of you don't believe in you? What old story of you doesn't believe you should be able to stand up right now and ask people, are you okay? How many people can you reach out today? How many people can you reach out to today? I got to tell you, my last couple of weeks have been the busiest couple of weeks I've had in years. And it's not with a whole lot of, it's not from the people that I'm reaching out to on a regular basis. I reach out to 100, 150 people a day. That's 1,000 people every 10 days or so, a little less. 1,000 people. Well, what? I mean, you've got huge teams. No, I don't. I have me and my family. This is a volunteer army. Y'all are worried about your business walking away from you. The only people that I can have the slightest bit of influence over, are who? Who are the people that I can have the slightest bit of influence over? Myself and the ones that I directly enroll, because I enroll people for a lifetime, not a lunchtime. And then maybe that trickles down the next level. But boy, when I enroll somebody, I pour into them. We're going to have conversations. We're going to get to know each other. Yeah, lifetime, not a lunchtime. I've enrolled 40 people in my life. 38 of them are still in the business, doing it somewhere, somehow. What happened to the other two? They passed away. I'm not the person you go to go figure out how to build large front lines. That's not my forte. I keep threatening it to be. It's just not. I'll get better at it. Right now, where you sit today, what law governs you? Is the law that you have to take care of you? Then who can stop you? What fear could stop you? What old story could stop you that tells you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you need to learn more? Can you not have a conversation with somebody that says, hey, listen, I'm really looking forward to what the future has for me, because I found a group of people that I get to work with that help me reduce my fear every day, that help me feel stronger about myself every day. And every day I find a new way to take care of me and my family. Might that not sound, I mean, it's a truthful statement, I believe. Might that not sound better? I'm a 5-figure earner on my way to 6 figures. What the hell is that? I mean, you may as well be speaking Russian or Swedish or Scandinavian or Finnish. You really want to confuse somebody? Speak Finnish. Even Finns don't understand Finnish. I have some Finnish friends and they will talk and I'm like, are any of those, are any of those even real words? They go, we're not sure. We're not sure. I mean, whoever's seen the Muppets and the scientists, Beaker, right? I just remembered his name. That may as well as be Finnish. Because you can't, anyways. So, time is it? How did such a man get such learning without having been taught? My teachings are not my own, he answers. How did you get this mindset, this idea that you're not good enough, that you're not whole, that you're broken, that you're fractured? If the story happened, if the experience happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, listen, it's a 20-year-old story you've been carrying around. Yeah, but you don't understand, Sean. It's still real. Yes, it is, because it's not your story anymore. You're carrying around a story that's a 20-year-old story. It hurts. I get it. It hurts. But you know what it also hurts? It hurts to let it go, because now all of a sudden you don't have that hole that you can crawl into. I'm not minimizing it at all. But what I am saying is that by not setting that down, you're minimizing who you are as a human right now in this life, in this moment. You need some help getting through that? Let me know. Because there's a story you've been believing that if I tell that story, I'm less than. If you tell that story, I'm not good enough. We had a story revealed on Thursday that absolutely freed another woman who we have had absolutely no idea that it freed her, simply by hearing the story. How many people do you think right now have been affected by this global awakening? It's not all 7 billion, 4 billion. Over half of the world has been affected right now. How many people out of 4 billion do you think are afraid to tell their story? 3.8 billion? You want to be in the top 3% of your business? You want to be in the top 1% of your company? You want to be in the top 1% of the world? Tell your damn story. Figure out how to get through it. Figure out how to relieve yourself, because it's not your story that's going to motivate people. It is not your story that's going to motivate people. It's the courage you had to tell the story is going to motivate people. Honestly, with all love, nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about my story. It's you, the one that cares about it. When you relieve that story, when you share that story, when you look at it in a new light. And here's what they don't care about the story. They don't care that you haven't told it, but when you do tell it, they will care, because it gives them inspiration, motivation. It moves them to a whole new level. They say, if you can do it, I can do it. That's how we build our companies. That's how we build our businesses. That if you could do it, I could do it. If a farm boy from Ohio with a 0.9 grade point average could do this, are you kidding me? I can do this. He's an idiot. And they're right. But see, for the first couple of years of my business, I came off as the smartest guy in the room. Smartest guy in the room. You know what it cost me? It cost me 1 year at a great college. Cost me 1 year at an Ivy League college, $80,000 in debt. That's what it cost me to be smart, to learn I was a little bit goofy. I was way not smart. So I paid for it. 80 grand my first year in debt, non-profitable. Now, because I had other business, I had 7 other businesses. It turned out great for me. I got to write all that stuff off. My fiance at the time, later on, my bride said, you know, you can't do this for more than 3 years, and maybe now it's 5 years, but you can't do it because otherwise it's a hobby. You can't have write-offs like this and not like draw the attention. So I got to carry those forward for a few years. That's the neat thing about owning a business. That's the neat thing about having multiple streams of income. You can write it off against profits for others. So listen, I'm in the business world. I'm not in the employee world. I don't follow those tax rules. I got to write it all off. Guess what? I made 80 grand back. I lost it, made it back, and in the meantime, built a global business because I'm okay with failing to fall forward. And it's never a failure. The failure ends the interesting, you step back into an interesting battle. Paulo Coelho from Manuscript Found in Accra. Most of you have not failed. You hang out at whatever plate that is. Failure plate is like purgatory in business. Failure is like purgatory in business. You're hanging out doing nothing, paying for your sins. You're either going to get back in the game or you're going to go fail and just go crawl under the nearest rock and let me know. Leave me a sign where you're at so I can send somebody for you. But step up, step out, step into your story and start loving people. And when you start to love people, don't be surprised what comes back. This is not a dress rehearsal. You've already spent 61 minutes and 10 seconds with me. This ain't a dress rehearsal. Who are you waiting on? What movie actor, director are you waiting on to say, okay, let's get into the movie now. Now we're going to film the movie. The movie has been filmed since the moment you were born. It's time you take the starring role. And you're not playing the best supporting actor. You're not playing the one who uses the most tissues in the world. You're not playing the one who always gets left at the altar. It's time to step into your role. There is no better time. You can wait for the next global crisis for you to become the leader. You can wait. Not telling you to do it, but I'm going to encourage you, man, there ain't a better time than right now. There are things you will do. There are things, the level of uncomfortableness that you will feel. It's because you're finally stepping into your role. You want to have people knocking down your door? Show up with some energy. What are you doing right now? How are you not absolutely distraught by what's going on right now? What's going on right now? What in my world has changed? You know what has changed? People keep calling me to ask me how to do Zoom. Nowhere on my resume does it say I'm a Zoom instructor. But you know why they call me? Because they know I've done 405 of them. At least that's what my episodes say. You know why people call me when the shit hits the fan? Because I'm the one who moves the fan. People want to be around listen, what are you doing right now? What are you reading? What are you doing? I'm loving life. I went up and woke up my son yesterday and I laid in bed with him and gave him this big hug. It's like hugging a tree. And the puppies crawl in and they climb in the middle of it. And I paid attention to the moment. I could feel the fur on my face and I could feel him breathing. When's the last time you paid attention to the chair you're sitting in? We are all obsessed with objects. The pen you're using, the paper you're writing on, the chair you're sitting in, the house you're listening to, the phone you're watching me on. Our whole life is filled with objects and everything has energy. And we don't even pay attention to it. How would you like to be an object in your world right now, an object in your life, somewhere in your house right now that hasn't been given any kind of love in God knows how long? When we start to become obvious of the things that are around us, when we start to become obvious of the things that exist in our world, and we fall back in love with them, you want to talk about storing up energy, you want to talk storing up greatness, you want to talk about having a resource that's available to you. Don't forget to be aware of the things that are all around you. Julie, good morning, my love. I see your hand up. Nano, go ahead. Good morning, Nano.
Great morning, Sean. How are you, brother?
Outstanding, brother.
I've been doing great, man. First off, I want to give a huge shout out to Rhonda real quick because last time
I love you, Nano.
I appreciate you. Last time I was on this call, I talked about wanting to build a closer relationship with God, and she sent me this book, the Jesus Calling, with all the devotionals, and this has really helped me so much. I was fighting an old story. Yes, I was fighting an old story, and I don't like to call it demons, but I was fighting an old story, and that book has really helped me every single day, just waking up and just reading it, and just practicing exactly, what he talks about in the book, just, saying, I trust you, Jesus, and you just becoming one with God and just trusting his guidance and everything. And that's something that I was missing. I kind of fell off a little bit, and it's helped me so much, Rhonda. So I want to definitely give you a huge thank you, because I don't know where I would have been right now if it wasn't for you, these last few weeks. So I definitely want to give you a huge shout out before I even share what I want to share. So thank you so much, Rhonda. I appreciate you for real.
Thank you. I love you so much. You're so deep in my heart. I love you.
I love you too, sis. So Sean, I wanted to talk about and I was telling you how I was fighting this old story before, and I had got lost in I don't know if I would say lost, but I really went into this hole where I was just focused on the things that really weren't benefiting me. I was putting in a lot of work into things that weren't bringing me any fulfillment, and I finally noticed that I was in a story that wasn't benefiting me at all. And today I finally woke up and I was like, I'm tired of that old story. I'm tired of telling myself that old story in my mind. And I woke up early because I was tired of just being in this comfortable place where I was at. And you said something that really hit me. You said no one wants to be a public figure that can act in secret. And I wanted to ask you, what exactly did you mean by that?
Well,
Because it's something that it was like a light bulb went off in my mind, but I wanted to know what exactly you meant by that.
so John 7, verse 4. No one wants to be, and this is in my notes. So this is in my book. So I copied it over. Why do I copy it over instead of just reading it in the book? Because that's how I learned to remember. No one wants to become a public figure, acts in secret. How many of us are acting in secret? How many of us are right now acting in secret? See, what does it mean to be a secret? How many people are right out in front of us, and then all of a sudden they turn into something else? Were they not right out in front of us, acting in secret? How many of us sit across from a prospect acting in secret that we're scared to death? So no one who wants to be a public figure acts in secret. This is where you tell your story. This is where you sit down. This is where I stand on stage in front of the A&MP and go, hey, listen, I'm a little nervous. Is it all okay? Listen, if I screw up, by round of applause, will you guys help me? Why do we have to act like we know everything? Because Sadhguru says, if you know everything, which is greater, what you know or what you don't know? What I don't know, then why not live in the unknown and have unlimited possibilities to be able to see what's available? It's okay to tell somebody that you're learning something new. Don't ever say you're new in this business, because you're not new in this business. If you're new in this business, it means what? You're building a business. If you're building people, are you new in this business? What business are you in? So if you're going to be a public figure, be a public figure who is absolutely 100% real, raw, in front of people, scared, happy, excited, joyful, absolutely loving life the way it's supposed to be. If you loved everybody the way you love some music star, wouldn't you be getting the name of every prospect tattooed on you if you absolutely loved it? Wouldn't you?
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, I met Leo today. I got to go get Leo tattooed right here, right over my heart. And then I met Brittney. Brittney told her story the other day. Oh my God, I got to get a tattoo of Brittney. And then Michelle talked about she was freed from the story of her mother and her because she heard Brittney's story. I got Michelle's name tattooed right here. They're changing my life. I got I got Nano's picture on my back. Although I do have to do I got to get it redone because it's new hair now.
Nah, it's just the quarantine got me looking crazy right now.
But
no barbershops.
But acting in public, in public, but talking in secret, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to talking in secret. We talk in secret when we're done. Man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But they asked me to speak at the event tomorrow. So I'm going to speak up at the event tomorrow. And I'm going to say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I know 100% of the facts, and I'm going to tell them to you right now. And if you give me 15 minutes of your undivided attention, I'm going to explain exactly how you can begin making money tonight, how you can be taking care of your family, and that how you can go out tonight and you can sponsor 2 more people and yours will be free. Let's go. What the frick what? How many of you have ever walked up to, and some of you have recently, but how many of you have ever walked up when you've been asked to present in front of all of these people who are sitting there with all of this high belief that this is the answer, and said, listen, you know what? I'm not sure why you're here. Have you ever thought about why you're here? Have you ever thought about why you showed up tonight? Where are the guests in the room? And you take time and you walk over and you shake the guests' hands. If I know the room is full of guests, if I know the room has 40, 50 guests in it, when I went down to Latin America in the beginning, we had 100 guests in the room. They knew before they were going to invite me up on stage, we did the guest thing. And while they were telling the story, I'm running around the room shaking guests' hands. You shake every guest's hand? Yeah, because they're a guest. And you know what? You know why we call them a guest? Because they're guessing at what the hell is going on. and I take away that guess and I make them a member before they even get started, because they no longer have to guess what the hell is going on. Somebody absolutely loves them when they show up at the event. You want to know why there's like a 90% conversion when you come to one of my events? It ain't about the presentation. Right now we have an opportunity. We've always had the opportunity, but it has never been so real and so raw to become the public figure that people are looking for. Listen, Nano, there's going to be people who fall in love with your vibe. They ain't never going to fall in love with my vibe, but you got to be at your highest level so they don't get lost. You have to be at your highest level so they don't get lost. They need you. The attraction to distraction is becoming so great right now. They need to hear your vibe. They need to hear Brittney's vibe. They need to hear Dana Scranton's vibe. They need to hear Shammy's vibe. Your vibe has to be so loud they can't look anyplace else. It's like a train wreck. You need to be so, it's like, I can't look away. Ah! And they can't look away from you. They can't look away. Whatever vibe it is you choose to put out there, but you got to turn it up. We all got to turn it up. And the way you turn it up is by sending out notes of love, of gratitude, of this, that, and the other.
I sent out like 20 this morning.
Okay, add a 0 to that. Listen, a 0 is nothing. My mentor would say, listen, all we are is commas and zeros. How many of those do you want? Does that help?
Yeah, it helps a lot. I have actually one more question. So when,
By the way, I don't know if I thanked you. We haven't had a chance to speak recently. Thank you for all you do in the world.
thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Thank you for everything you do. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So everything that's happening for me right now is because you inspired me.
There you go. Yes, because you did all the work.
Exactly. So
love you, brother.
I'm grateful for you, Sean. Love you more. So I have a tendency of being very hard on myself because I expect nothing but greatness from myself. And there's times that, I set out to do something and I don't do it. And I feel like the fact that I don't get a chance to do it, and then I start being hard on myself, is one of the things that's kind of limiting myself, I would say. So how do you get rid of that thought? How do you get rid of that story that you tell yourself when, because I know you expect greatness from yourself as well. So how do you get rid of that thought and being so hard on yourself so it could kind of just be more effortless and not a thing where it's kind of hurting you?
So would you like a long answer or a short answer?
Sure, I guess.
Moment. How long can you beat yourself up for?
Good amount.
Until
I get sick and tired of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you're back in the moment. In this moment, you get to choose joy or misery. Which do you choose when you're beating yourself up? Which are you choosing?
Sometimes I choose misery, if I'm being honest.
So then you're choosing it. Here's the good news. When you recognize you're choosing it, you get to ask in the next breath, I choose joy or misery. Now I like to choose misery. And then in the next breath, you choose misery. And the next breath, you choose misery. How long will you choose to be miserable? You have a choice. You can't beat yourself up without your own permission. And you don't need my permission to beat you up. You don't need my permission. And I say mine, anybody's permission to beat you up or to give you joy.
Okay, so when I choose joy, what should be my thought process?
So tell me something joyful in your life.
Traveling. I love traveling.
Cool. What was a favorite trip? Was it the flight or walking into the airport? Well, give me one of your most memorable arrivals.
Standing in the Barcelona, by the beach in Barcelona.
Okay. Y'all see his face trying to smile, but so what was the weather like?
It was windy that day. It was really windy, but it was beautiful. It was one of the most gorgeous scenes I've seen that day.
Do you have a memento? Do you have a touchstone from Barcelona or something? A bracelet or something? What's from Barcelona? What do you have that's from Barcelona?
I have a gift that was given to me. It was this rock that was given to me by someone who's on Mornings on Nano. She came and gave it to me and told me how this rock represents abundance and blessings and all the positivity that's going to continue to come into my life.
Where's that rock at?
It's in my room.
Yeah, see, that's why you don't have joy with you right now. It's in your room. It ain't rocket science. Tony Robbins talks about carrying a touchstone. Why do we make it so difficult for ourselves? So let me hold it right side up. What's that say on it? Good Lord.
Slovenia.
This is a rock that's 16 years old. All right, the rock's a lot older than that. But this sits right here on my desk because this was given me by Alexandria and Martin, who are now, she's an Olympic athlete and he's an amazing soul. But these were friends of mine. We walked a river in Slovenia. This was because they were very standoffish. They weren't as friendly as I would like them to be because they've been through some challenges, right? And, you know, when I was there, we celebrated the Slovenia's Independence Day, like their 4th of July. I said, how many years is this you've been independent? They said 14. I'm like, what? Anyways, but we walked the river. So that's where my stone is. I can pick it up all the time. This goes with me everywhere I go. Well, how did you have it on your desk? Because I took it out because it was on my desk. I took it out of my pocket. This reminds me to never forget Alexandria and Martin. Yours is in your room. I love you. But why do we beat ourselves up? Why aren't we carrying around a backpack full of joy? So that's how you do it. You go touch that stone about Barcelona. And when you touch the stone of Barcelona, can you be pissed off anymore? Then what? But see, you want to have, listen, you know, I love you. You want to have the story of, man, I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much success. I got to push myself harder. Why? When you're in this pissed off state, when you're in this frustrated state, when you're in this beat yourself up state, are you acting at your highest calling?
No.
No, then why do that? Well, somebody's got, I mean, you know, I can't have it good all the time. Why not? Who says that? Who says that? Show him to me. Bring him to me. Bring that sumbitch here right now. Let me have a conversation with him. I'll set him straight. Folks, we deserve to be joyful. We've had enough misery. If we were only supposed to have a little misery every year, we've got decades of life already paid up. We want to talk about putting in savings. You have put enough pain in savings. You could just live off the interest. You don't need no more pain. You know what the next pain should be? You know what the next pain should be? Helping people fall in love with themselves. You don't have to be hard on you. You can be a little hard on them. That's why you need to ask the 3 questions. Do I have your permission to help make you feel uncomfortable, take you out of the uncomfortable feeling? That's why I can grill you like this, because you know I love you. There's no, and listen, if you do it, awesome. If you don't do it, okay. Folks, I need you to pay attention to this relationship because when I don't know he's beating himself up, he'll call me sometimes. But my point is that my life doesn't get miserable when he beats himself up. I'm responsible to him, not for him. Some of you are taking on your team's misery. Some of you are taking on your team's lack of productivity. Some of you are going, but this would be so good for them. Next, I planted tomato plants out here. I planted peas out here. I planted vegetables out here, and some of them don't grow. Do I sit there and go, please come back? They said it's easier to give birth than raise the dead. Ain't none of us Jesus walking around zone, touch my road, go home, and they will pick up your mat and go home. What? Ain't no Jesus on this call. We're all a bunch of sinners. That's why he's using us. Can you imagine for him to find me to speak through, to share with you, for me to write down John 7, chapter 4 through 8, verse 4 through 8? I can't even say them right. Procrastination is our own way of building our doubt. So do something. Don't even procrastinate. You can't procrastinate. Your time is moving. We're just choosing not to live in it. Live in the moment. Do something. Sing, dance, run around naked, right? What's the TikTok challenge that's going crazy now? Everybody's showing up in front of their partner naked. Go do that. Have fun, laugh. Laughter changes vibration. When you change vibration, you can start to see things differently. Breathe, laughter, breathe. Why do people smoke? Why do when they get nervous, they smoke? Because they can finally take a big breath. As crappy as the air is going in, they finally get a big breath and they exhale out some of the CO2 that's in their body. Learn about diaphragmatic breathing. Learn about fire breathing. You want to wake your body up? You want to do some things? Learn what fire breathing is. Most of you have probably seen Tony Robbins' morning ritual. Yes, yes, yes. Motion creates emotion. Get fired up. Light your own fire. You want to get sexy? Learn salsa. Learn merengue. You want to get romantic? Learn flamenco. We can't be afraid to intertwine with people. Does that help, Nano?
Yeah, Sean, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
What'd you learn? What'd you like?
I love that you asked me that because I love, it's funny because I ask that on my calls now. What did you learn? What you like? I learned that I have to have something that reminds me of, the joy when that moment comes up, when I'm going to start to beat myself up. Am I going to choose misery or am I going to choose joy? And from now on, whenever those moments happen again, because I'm sure that it's not just going to disappear, they're going to happen again. I'm going to choose joy and I'm going to think about things that bring me that joy every single time. So I'll think about that. And then one thing I liked is just the fact that I was able to, thank Rhonda for introducing me to this amazing book that has made a huge, huge change in me. And just, I'm just excited about it. So I had a really good devotional today. I loved it. And I really, really liked love. The fact that I have somebody that I can go to that's hard on me because no one else is. I can't go to no one else. Everyone's so soft on me. You're the only one that really, comes straight, gives me the what it is. You don't beat around the bush, and that's what I love. So thank you so much for that, Sean.
Well, because A, you gave me permission, but B, I need you. I need you. I'm not here to whittle your tree. I'm here to grow an oak tree. I'm here to grow a redwood. And there's some sucker branches that are on there that are just absolutely draining your growth. And I just got to whack them off. You've given me permission to do that. That's our relationship. And today, right? It was pretty cool. I'm taking care of you. Trust me all times. Trust me in all circumstances. Trust me with all your heart. When you are weary and everything seems to be going wrong, you can still utter these 4 words. I trust in you.
Trust you, Jesus. Yeah.
Isn't it neat to have this? This is what it's called. This is what's called a formula, by the way, FYI.
Do you read this every day? You read it every day when you wake up?
Yeah. How do you think I got to March 30th so quick? My marker was there.
Quick question though. How do you go about, do you highlight? Do you take notes on it? How do you go about receiving the message?
So here's the old school. I mean, you guys, there's 100 people now and they're watching us have a conversation behind the scenes. I'm afraid to make a mark in the book.
Really? I already started highlighting.
I know. No.
Mine's marked up. I have marks all through mine, and then I have pages thumb tagged down here of verses that really stick out to me, and then I have notes written out beside the verses. I have all kinds of markings.
If Rhonda and Sean have this book, I know I'm doing the right thing. So,
well, FYI, mentor extraordinaire over here. It was sent to me by Rhonda.
Really?
Yeah, this is a gift from Rhonda.
Oh man, so Rhonda's really the chief here. So
listen, I have mentors in every area of my life. If I could find a mentor who would teach me how to take care of my big toe or my pinky toe, why not have it so specific? We wind up finding people who kind of have an maybe they're older than us, maybe they made more money than us, maybe they did this or that or the other. Are you specifically looking at what a mentor is so that you can walk away with their wisdom specifically designed to cut the crap and cut through the race of things? You are not coming. Nobody is coming to me for the word of God. I go to Rhonda. Now, I may use it in a way that moves people to that message, but now that may all change according to what I'm hearing from some prophecy. But right now, the reality is that I'm good at what I do. I've let some things go, right? If I do this more, guess what I do less? I do less of other stuff, but this is helping me become more. I have one question. So we talk that we should always do things that we feel good doing them. What about when we do something that is not in our comfort zone? Do you get excited? Great question, Sarah. Do you get excited about it? Because listen, let me be very clear. Let's answer that question without the confusion, without the mask that your last question gave you. See, that last question masked reality. Here's why. Did today ever exist before? You are stepping into a world that never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never, ever existed before. And you're not scared waking up this morning. Did you wake up in panic, wondering if the sun is going to stay where it's at, where the earth is going to rotate at the same rotation today, if the moon is going to stay where it's at, if Jupiter, Pluto, if our universe, if our galaxy, that is us, if the galaxy that's called the Milky Way galaxy is rotating at the right place? None of that crossed your mind, because we all know that there's laws that are in place. You woke up today knowing that today you would wake up on the same side of the bed, knowing that you would wake up and go to the same bathroom you went to the yesterday morning, possibly, that you would wake up and use and shower the exact same way. Your day has been habitualized. I could make you uncomfortable right now by asking you to come on in this moment and have a conversation with me and tell me the rest of your story. You would be nervous. It would be an amazing experience, but you would be nervous. So that's not that it's uncomfortable. It's because it's changing the story. The question is that when you become uncomfortable, how fast can you let go of the old story that's keeping you stuck that asks that question? Well, that's why I asked the question. I know. But now that you've asked the question, do you realize the greatness that is residing inside of you, the greatness that is living inside of you, the greatness that is striving to get out, that's telling you that being uncomfortable is not a good thing. Is being uncomfortable is being scared, but we should do the things we love. Are there things you could love that you could do more of? Do you like to donate? Do you like to read to children? Do you like to drink Starbucks coffee? Could you do more of that? Could you build your business with a Starbucks coffee in your hand? Could you build your business with doing makeup, teaching makeup? And people are like, how do you afford all this expensive makeup? I have a company I partnered with that pays for all my makeup. How do you do that? Because nobody wants to do what we do. They want the results so they can go do what they want to do. I hope that helps. You're an amazing soul. For you to ask that question, Sarah, for you to ask that question tells me there is a greatness just below the surface that we get to see from time to time. We get to experience from time to time. We get to hear from time to time. We get to fall in love from time to time. So it's not being uncomfortable what you love to do. Don't get uncomfortable doing what you don't want to do. Listen, I'm not good at spelling. I posted stuff out about the Stoics the other day, and I had a very dear friend who loves me to death because they had the courage to go, what is a sotic? Like, what the hell are you talking about, sotic? She goes, well, you said these people are sotics. And she said, I asked my daughter because sotic is an anagram for snipers. I'm like, what? I said, maybe it should have done that. But she said, she goes, he's a goofball. He meant stoic. Oh, see, I can't spell. Leo, what's your question, brother?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much, Sean, for today's call. Definitely my awakening for today. And Rhonda, thank you so much for sharing your daily devotional, not only with Sean, but also with Nano, and therefore with all of us. I am definitely putting that in my cart right now. I've actually been, I've been on the vibration of wanting to get closer not only to reading the Bible, but also with my connection to God. So definitely going to take you all up on that. My question for you, Sean, is so this week has been very interesting for me. I've gotten out of my comfort zone. I'm prospecting more so than I have in the recent couple months. And what's becoming uncomfortable for me is the opening aspect after the presentation, after exposing the opportunity to people, opening that relationship with them, and enrolling them into the business. I'm getting stuck with getting people. Excuse me. Let me take that back. With enrolling people into the opportunity, where no one's really making a decision to say yes or no. And I feel like it might be my energy or my intention that might be a little scrambled, because I feel that what I'm doing is I'm sharing the business, just sharing to prospect, right? Quote unquote prospect. But what I'm losing is why I'm doing it, my intention behind it, because I want to advance myself. I'm in a position, we're all in a position right now to be home, so I'm looking to advance myself. So
here's the question: would you like? How fast would you like to be able to incorporate the answer to that question? Would you like it to take a long time or a short time?
Very short time.
Okay. So here's why you're having an issue. You're letting the presentation tell the story.
Yeah.
They need to already know the story, and the presentation is confirmation of your commitment. So imagine me. Are there different salsa songs?
Many, thousands.
So if there's thousands of salsa songs, how can I learn to play salsa? How can I learn to play? How can I learn to dance salsa?
By learning your
it's the
basic
moves.
steps.
It's not the music. You're letting the music tell the story as opposed to the moves teach me. You're the moves. The music is the presentation. When people present, aren't there different presentations with the same script, but the presentations are different because the people who present them?
Right.
That's the music. You're letting the music teach the moves as opposed to teach the moves, and here's the music to play to. I'm going to move my left foot to my right foot on the next beat. It doesn't matter whether it's Carlos Santana or if it's Flamingo Gooby Dooby.
Right.
Why are you letting the music make the move as opposed to teaching the move and let the music move them? The events you go to should be the music that move your team, not the ones that create the moves.
Wow. That comes with my story. You opened up today's call and it resonated with me. That story of will people listen for what I have to say?
Why do they listen to you in your dance studio?
Because of the confidence I expel through my dancing.
They don't, but what if they've never seen you before? Why do they show up at your studio going, listen, somebody told me to come here?
Through my vibe, my vibration.
They haven't even met you. How do they show up at your studio if they've never met you?
Through word of, I do know through word of mouth, through other people.
So what was the word of mouth? This guy sucks, but he looks good in tights. Well, I mean, is that the story?
Hope not.
Could be, right? Look at him.
Look at him. He's going to start sweating. Come on, Leo. Go. Don't take that shirt off, man. We can't handle it. Okay. Don't do that.
Right?
Right.
So does it matter? Listen, does it matter why they show up?
No.
But once they show up, now you get to engage with them.
Right.
How many people's perception of you changed once they engaged with you?
Many.
So did you have to change for everyone that showed up, or did you just do what you were good at?
I did what I was good at.
And sometimes when you did what you were good at, some never came back for the second meeting
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
because they didn't want it. They didn't want to work that hard. They didn't want to have to do flexibility or nutrition or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, that's so true.
But did you just go home and cry?
No.
Then why are you doing that in your business?
That is my story.
Yes.
That is my story.
If you treated your MLM, your Me Loving More business, the same way you treated your MLM dancing Me Loving More, that's what just so to me, I'm like the guy in the movie that sees the story that they freeze frame this, and they go into my mind, they go into my memory, and they see me play out this entire story. And then we come back to this present moment in time when we have the conversation, and it's exactly Sherlock Holmes of your life. And it's like, how does he see that? How does he see that? How is he a Sherlock Holmes when he talks to somebody for the very first time and says, I'm just guessing there's this, and this. Am I on target? Oh my God, you're right on target. How does he see that? You can tell if somebody can dance or not. You go, okay, well, let's do a little bit of this. Okay, so you see where their bad pattern is. You see where they've learned they've got some poor practice that they've done. They've had no practice what they've done. They've got 13 left feet. But if their passion is there, they'll work through their old story. We went through this. Listen, I'm going to love you again. I'm going to flick you between the eyes here, your third eye, and hopefully it awakens this time. Listen, I partnered with a company that allows me to teach people how to dance salsa in the real world and in the unreal world, called home-based business, that allows me to teach them the salsa of their own life. Where would you like to dance today? You're telling somebody else's story. You're trying to be public, but not be seen because you're trying to keep yourself a secret. You think, well, my dance studio is different than my network marketing business. That's why you got a problem.
You just keep smacking me, Sean. I love it, though.
I love you. Listen, if I told Rhonda, listen, you can't talk about Jesus in your business. Well, I was kind of in that area. And then she had an awakening the other day. She says, what am I doing trying to build Jesus? Are you kidding me? She stopped building Jesus. What, Rhonda? No, she started building her so she could be more of him. Why are you trying? Build your salsa business. Build your dancing empire.
Leo, when I see you, I don't see a network marketer. When I look at you, I see this guy whose shoulders vibrate at this unbelievable pace in his dances, that I have shown more people your videos of you dancing and your shoulders. There's one where you're just kind of hanging out dancing and your shoulders are like 900 miles an hour back and forth. I'm like, watch this dude. And I see that, and I see some of your yoga poses that no 45-year-old married woman needs to look at, but I look at them anyway. I see those. I see this smile. I see this heart. And that is what makes you so attractive to me. I see passion. I see love. I see charisma. I see you dancing with your sweet love in Puerto Rico, and y'all having the biggest smiles on your faces and not caring who's watching. Why aren't you showing that? And I'll tell you that because I now get phone calls of people going, how are you traveling so much? What's different about you? You're the sweetest person ever. Blah, blah, just all this stuff. And I'm like, I've always been me. What? And I finally realized that me is showing instead of anything I'm doing. And when you started the conversation with Sean, the first thing I wrote down is you've got your business before your relationship. Because if they're looking at you with the stinky fart face after you get through talking to them, they have no idea who you are. Otherwise, they would fall in love with you exactly how I have. And I'd be like, I don't care what he says. I'm just going to listen to him. He's pretty to look at. He's sweet and he's sexy and he's fun. I don't care. I'll just follow him around. And when you finally allow people to fall in love with you, it doesn't matter. And then they just want to do what you do because they love being around you. And it's the doing less and becoming more. It's perfect. And since Sean has drilled that through this thick head of mine, it's finally hit my heart. And yeah, I put different things up about my weight loss and stuff like that, but now I can do silly videos and not freak out because someone might say something bad about them. I can just be fun and I can be joyful and I can have a blast and I don't care what I look like and I can just be me, and there's so much freedom. And Leo, you are this amazing heart on fire guy. There's nothing tame about you, but you try to tame it and put it in this little trader suit and you try to be just this when we're all going, he looks uncomfortable. What's wrong with him?
Wow.
And then whenever you rip that shirt off and you put those dancing shoes on and those shoulders start going and that smile comes across your face, we're like, oh, now he's interested. But think about that. Why are you hiding you? Why do you feel like you need to hide? You're this amazing, beautiful man with skin color that I could only dream of. My gosh, you saw my poor little white girl pictures. Why are you hiding?
I'm scared.
Why are you hiding? What are you scared of? Are you scared of how many people will love you?
I think I'm scared of the responsibility.
Okay, so let's define the responsibility. What kind of responsibility is there?
Well, one, showing up every day for people.
Okay, so you wake up every morning. So check.
Yeah, check. Help. I think also allowing people to know that they can rely on me.
What do they need to rely on you for?
Getting them through this, the start of the business, of understanding how to get to their own goals and how to get to their own intention of what
How many dance steps do you do for somebody when they're trying to practice? How much somebody else's practice can you do for them when in dancing?
I can't do it for them.
Then why are you trying to do it in your business?
If you go to a competition and you have a student competing and that student messes up a little bit and doesn't get the high enough scores, is that your score?
No.
No, it's their score.
Wow.
You got mom guilt or dad. I don't know if you call it dad guilt. I know for sure you got mom guilt.
I got mom guilt.
And it's that. Yeah, and it's what Sean said. You're responsible to them. Wake up, love them, love yourself, spread joy, spread love, but you're not responsible if they don't wake up. That wasn't your fault. If they don't love, that's not your fault. If they don't sit in joy, that ain't your fault. And you hear Sean say it 900 times. If you sit across from somebody and they're not sitting in joy, and you let that bad feeling run across down their leg, across the floor and up your leg, now that's your fault. You don't have to take on anyone's thoughts, feelings, emotions. You don't have to take it on. And when you realize you're not responsible for them, it's a game changer. That was huge for me. Now, when my husband walks through and he's mad because something broke outside on the lawnmower, I don't have to pick up his feeling of, I can just let it go.
Yeah.
I'll let him handle that. And when I walk by and you know, smack him on his hind end and go, hey there, handsome, and he's just pissed off as I don't know what, he just kind of looks at me. I don't have to pick that up.
Mm.
This is what Sean says by, this is what he means by you have everything you need. Sometimes you just need to hear it from another voice besides Sean's. You have every single thing you need. Leo, you are this amazing human being. My gosh, you are, if you saw yourself the way I see you, Sean sees you, and your mama sees you,
Mm.
you can rule the world through love and joy.
Leo, you tell somebody they go home and practice. They go home and practice. They come back and they said they practiced. They get on the dance floor. Could you tell whether they practiced or not?
Yeah, I can.
And you go, you didn't practice. What are you doing? You're lying.
Every class, Sean, every class.
I know. That's why this is like, to us, we're freaking out going, this happens every single time. Nobody ever practices. But do you go to sleep at night? Do you sleep at night going, they're not going to practice. They're not going to practice. What am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to change this? No, they're just going to pay me another session.
Mm. Mm.
Somebody joined you in business. It's their business. You're not running a company. You're not hiring an employee. An employee, at least you can tell them what to do, and they're only going to do 20% of what you tell them to do, and you're going to pay them enough so they don't quit, and they're going to do enough so you don't fire them. These are independent business people. When you sit down with somebody and say you're getting started, before they sign the paper, you ready to get started in your own business? You ready to do what it needs to take to you? Are you ready to hear things you've never heard before? Because if you're ready, you can sign this. If not, don't sign this, because I don't need you complaining to me.
Mm.
Do you ask for any money up front when you're doing your classes?
Never, ever. I always wait to the end.
Okay, change that.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you got to pay for 3 classes up front. Take the misery off of you. No, you don't have to, but what happens if all of a sudden, do you think they might practice a little more? You know why nobody's practicing? Because they ain't got to pay for anything till they show up. They got to have a little skin in the game. Well, Sean, but you don't charge us. No, because this is about me sharpening my saw. This is about me going to school every morning. I go to school every morning. I spend an hour in working on my PhD, my Pi at Higher and Deeper, my public high school diploma. No, I'm working on my master's here of humanity. Right now, it's over an hour. Okay. So if I was on stage, if you hired me to speak at your company event, you just paid me 15 grand times 58 now.
wow.
Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're valuable, Leo, and you're worth every bit of the value.
This is the conversation. I thought I in my mind, I thought I got over it, but it's something that I'm still figuring out.
Sure.
That conversation.
What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Oh man. What I learned is that I'm a part of an amazing community of people that support me, that we all support each other. I mean, I learned that continuously every day that I'm on this call, and I love every single one of you guys, every single one of you, because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't have this community.
Yep.
And another thing that I learned is just to show up as I am, transparent and vulnerable. I'm tearing right now, and it's okay to tear, because that's me pushing up against my uncomfortability to get to the next level of the understanding of self. And what I like is this ability to be vulnerable, this ability to share myself, and for people to feel like they can learn something as well, that we can all relate to each other. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is that we're on the same frequency, on this vibe, that we're all learning from each other. So I like that, again, that we can all show up every single morning with you, Sean, and Miss Pink Robe Lady. I love you, Rhonda. I love you so much. I love you too, Sean.
I
that we
love
can all
you.
show up together and take care of each other. So thank you. I appreciate this.
So
Love you, Leo.
in John 7:4 and John 7:6, it actually says, my time is not yet here. They said to him, well, why aren't you going to the festival? He said, my time is not yet here. For you, any time will do. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify that its works are evil. And it says right there, any time for you will work. He had to wait for a specific moment to where they could crucify him. You don't need to be crucified. Any time will work for you. That'd be a good time. Julie, how are you, my love?
Oh my God, Leo, that was beautiful. Like I can relate in so many ways. Wow. So Sean, you answered my question. Thanks to Leo. But I just want to share this with you all. You know, about a year ago, not a year, like 6-7 months ago, you know, I was uncomfortable with network marketing. I was very, very uncomfortable. And I remember thinking, like, I remember telling Sean.
Hang on just a second. Has anybody told you how absolutely beautiful you are?
I was just thinking that, Sean. You took the words
I
right
was
out of
too.
I am one of I'm one of her biggest fans. One of her biggest fans.
Thank you so much.
I
Thank you.
absolutely love you. I need you to hear this. I love every cell in your body. I want to put you in my pocket. I want to squish you to see you. But there's a joy inside of you. But just thank you for showing up and sharing your beauty with us. And you didn't have to say a dang thing. So go ahead with your words.
Thank you, y'all. So I remember telling Sean, and this was during the summer. I would never forget the conversation we had at the park. And I told you, like, I feel like I'm not worth. Yeah, I have the video still. And I remember telling you, like, I don't think I'm worthy of sharing this amazing, you know, opportunity with anyone. And, you know, prospecting wasn't my thing. Like I was so uncomfortable. So now, guys, about 2-3 days ago, I hit another rank in the company. And and you know, it's not more so the rank, it's the fact that, you know, I'm able to help so many people. And I was relating to what Leo's feeling. Like I remember my old story, the story that I told you, Sean, like, can I really do this? Can I really help people? And I kept thinking, and I kept telling myself, like, this is a lot of people. This is a lot of people. I'm like, this is a lot of people. Can I really do this? And everybody was, you know, congratulating me and telling me that, you know, they're so proud of me. But me, in my head, I was like, Jesus. I'm like, I know I asked for this, God, but Jesus, this is real now. So you know, so I was very, very, like, I was super afraid because there's a lot of people that now I got to look after. And I know I have leaders and they're amazing. And I know, you know, some people are going to quit and I love them. I'll love them whether they stay, whether they quit. I don't take it personal. And one thing that I learned from what you told Leo, and it finally clicked, you're responsible to them, but you're not responsible for them. And you said this so many times, so many times, but it finally like clicked. And I'm like, it's true. I'm here stressing like, oh, you know, what if they leave? What if they don't see value? And then you said that and I'm like, whoa. And I just remember, know your worth, and know that you got this. So I just want to thank you so much for everyone. Like I want to thank everyone so much, but more so, Sean, I really, really want to thank you because if it wasn't for you, and I say this because I remember I was this close on quitting in that, you know, that summer, when last July, I was so close on quitting. And you told me, don't, you got this, don't give up. So thank you so much. Thank you. And I love you forever. And I love everyone too.
I love you too. And I'll use the words of Ray Higdon in inside of his Rank Makers community. He says, you know, when all of these people rank advance and they do all of these things, he says, I don't even get a toaster. So the fact that Julie is now absolutely loving, building this amazing community. She just had a new aha today that she's responsible to, not for. And monetarily, I get nothing. But emotionally, the world's a better place for me and for my family. So I'm grateful for you, my love. Yeehaw. Michael, you got a question, brother.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Outstanding, man.
All right, I got a few. First, can you do that Tony Robbins thing again? Yes.
So if you it's Google it, just Google it. It's on YouTube. But what he does is you reach up into the universe, and you pull it down into it, you hold it, you get it, and then you go up and you get more, and you pull it down and you go up and get more. And it's just this emotion of you absolutely reaching up to the heavens, reaching up, getting whatever you want, pulling it down. But it's that energy and it's that movement of the body, and it's moving blood through the vasodilation. It's causing your capillaries to expand. It's causing your body to have fluid flow that it hadn't had in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I was literally on this call because like I'm not gonna lie, you were coming at our necks on this call and I was feeling a bit shameful. And then you start doing this and I start like laughing like no other. And I was like, oh my God, like it made me feel pretty good again. I also wanted to say, when you said, I'm trying to be public but not seen, that was so true about me. I don't even like being public and not seen anymore because I keep posting about trading and all this stuff and it doesn't even feel like me posting, right? So like what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna make a YouTube video. I have a great idea and just tell my story and like tell it how like I was able to now travel the world, that I made friends now that I'm gonna meet up with from all over the country, and I'm gonna make that video today, which I'm really excited about. And
Listen,
lastly,
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'd rather look at Sports Illustrated than a girly magazine. Because at least they got something covered up. I don't need to see everything. I don't need to see everything. A nice bathing suit, very nice. You got my attention. The other one, I can't. My mom is still in my head. I can't look at a naked woman. So I say that to say, why are we showing up there absolutely naked, telling everybody what we are? And they're like, oh, but they got a mole on their right elbow. Give them something to be intrigued about. Let them create their own. What does he do? You know how many people ask me what I do? For the article, the people, what do you do? I have fun. How do you do that? What do you do? Very well. Why do you ask? You are not getting into my club. You are not getting into the club unless you pay the price of admission.
I agree. And I didn't like people like will always be like, oh, entrepreneur and everything. And I was like, nah, that's didn't feel like me. Like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, but like nah, I'm Michael Music. Like I'm myself. Like that's what I care about more. And last thing I want to say is I wanted to tell Rhonda that I prayed last night talking to God by myself, and I had the best time ever.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm
Got you some answers, huh?
Oh my God, so many. Like I got like 16. Like
Did you say thank you?
I did. I thanked him for letting me talk to him like how I wanted to, especially. That was
There
my
you
favorite
go.
part. So I'm
Yeah.
feeling really good right now.
I love it.
And when you showed up as you in front of God, when you just showed up as Michael, he received you and he heard you and y'all were able to have a monologue, right?
It was so easy. It was
I mean, a dialogue.
frictionless.
Dialogue, not a
Yeah.
monologue. Yeah.
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 It was literally like everything. Oh my God. I can't tell you how many times I prayed and it was like, like cringy almost. And then like now it was just smooth. Like, how could I?
So that video you're going to do today?
Yeah, I got a lot to do today, but I'm gonna definitely make a YouTube video. I got a cool idea, and I'll send you the link, and I'll send Sean the link too.
Send me the link as you do the video. Show up on that video like you did for God in your prayer.
Oh, you know I am. There's no doubt in my mind. I think that's the easiest way. I told myself that like I'm gonna make this work, and I think that's the easiest way.
Just be you. You are so lovable. And your smile it like radiates energy and love.
Mm-hmm.
You're lovable. Let us love you. Quit keeping us at arm's length. Let us love you. And that's what you did by showing up in front of God and going, all right, God, here I am. That's all I can be. That's all I can be, man.
I agree with that so much. It's gonna
I'm so proud of you.
Smooth ride too. It's not gonna be that hard. Like just do it and then have faith.
That's it. I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. You
Thank
are
you,
so
Rhonda.
freaking amazing.
Thank you, Rhonda. The amount
I
of
love
growth I've
you.
had on these calls is insane.
And it's always been inside of you. That's don't ever forget that. It's always been inside of you.
Oh, I know. It's like you look back, you're like, dude, like, why did it take so long to come out? Like,
I love it. Appreciate you, brother.
thank you, Sean. Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah, man. Hey, Laura, how are you, my love?
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Wonderful.
Awesome. I have a question. So today I heard what you said, and I've heard you say that, before, and I thought that I understood that, but then I remember in one of your calls you said that because we are in the business of building people, or so I am, I know. So and I remember you say this because that day it just hit me hard. You said if someone quits, it's your fault too.
Only if you take credit for their winning. If you're going to take credit for them being successful, you got to take credit for their failures.
Okay.
So if somebody quits, they didn't quit me. They quit themselves. If somebody wins, if somebody rank advances, I've had, I don't know, 300 rank advancements. I didn't do any of that. I can't take credit for it, because if I take credit for it, when 100 people quit this month because I got 30,000, 100 people decide to go off with a new distraction, I can't sit there and go, oh, yeah, that's my fault too. So does somebody quit because they don't know their story? Then maybe I could have done better. I'll get better at the next. But I can't take credit for somebody winning, and I can't take credit for somebody quitting. That's not my responsibility. I'm responsible.
Because I was like, but if they quit, it's my fault too. So I understand what you're saying.
So do you have children?
No.
Okay. You were a child once?
Yes.
So when you came home with an A or a B or a C on your report card, your parents were either happy or they weren't.
Yeah.
But who took the test?
I did.
And since they weren't your teacher, if you weren't homeschooled, if they weren't your teacher, then all they could do is tell you to do better. And if you came home with an A, they were excited that you got an A because you did the work. They can only be mad that you didn't get an A or whatever grade they expected you to get. My parents were happy if I got B. They were ecstatic if I got B's. If I got C's, that'd be good. So they couldn't do my work for me. Like Leo can't do the practicing for anybody in dancing. You just gotta be able to give them the best method they can to move forward. If they choose to follow it, outstanding, they'll advance. And if they don't, they won't. Either way, I'm good with that.
I got it.
Cool.
I have another question too. Sorry.
Sure.
No, I don't have to apologize. So this last week I was super drawn. I was reading other books, but all of a sudden I just didn't want to read any other book. I just wanted to read Think and Grow Rich, right? And so I started reading it because I think it was a conversation that you had with Michael, and I was just like super drawn to the book. So I started reading it, and I just felt the book, like every single word that I was reading, it was just resonating within me, and it was just crazy. And I had so many aha moments, and I think I found the secret already. And also something that I want to ask was, I was reading the chapter on faith yesterday, and it talks about a little bit about auto suggestion, right? And so they give you like different steps, and one of the steps is to spend, some time every day thinking. So thinking of the person you want to be, right? Or you are to become. And then on the other step, it says spend some time demanding of the person, or I don't know if it said of the things you want to have or the person you want to become, but the two words, thinking and then demanding, just stood up to me. So I guess my question is, when he refers to demanding, does that mean, or do you think that means asking?
So you have a husband, yes?
No.
You have brothers or sisters?
A brother, yes.
So if you're landing at the airport and you're landing at 9 o'clock, what time would you expect him to be there? If you're walking out and you're standing at the curb at 9 o'clock, what time would you expect him to be there?
8:55.
Okay. So if you have an appointment from the airport that you only have 20 minutes to get to, and if he's there at 9:01, you're going to be late. Would you not demand him to be there at 8:55?
Yes.
And you demand him to be there at 8:55 because you have an appointment you have to get to. That could mean significant challenge for you if you don't arrive on time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So thinking about the person you're becoming and demanding the discipline. Demanding requires discipline, and demanding puts discipline in place for you to take the actions necessary to become the person you're thinking about. So when you demand of the person you're becoming, it's putting the discipline in place to become that person. It's called the logical conclusion. So the logical conclusion is you're driving your car right now and you're commanding and demanding yourself to follow the rules of the road because you're on the right side of the traffic that's going with traffic. If you crossed over into the other side, could you get to the place by crossing over into oncoming traffic? Sure. Would it be a little risky? Sure. But you follow the rules and you demand yourself to stay in a safe lane so you can arrive on time in safe and security. We need to demand the same thing of our future self, which is a discipline, which comes back to, you ready for this? In this moment, do you choose joy or do you choose misery? So you can, if you demand of yourself joy in this moment, the next logical conclusion, the next logical step is that you will always have joy and the person you are thinking about you will become because you're demanding yourself of this moment to have what it is you're seeking.
That makes a lot of sense.
Cool. My daddy said if it makes sense, it'll make dollars.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sean.
You bet. I love you.
I love you.
Love you. Yay. RBP, closing thoughts.
I don't know. You pretty wrapped it up. I know you gave me a whole bunch of things I can share in my Bible study because I'm sitting here going, as a Christian woman, do I accept people and love them like another Christian before they've ever accepted Christ, or if they ever accept Christ? Can I do that? And it's the same thing with our company. If you're building a business or whatever, however you want to say that, do we love them whether they're with us or not? Can we love them whether they choose us or not? So I think that's kind of the whole basis of this whole conversation. So can we do that for ourselves?
So
Can we?
Good attorneys never ask a question they don't know the answer to. So I don't
Right.
know. I don't know the answer to this one, but I'd love for you to share with the 40 people that are here. You've been on a couple of three-way conversations with me. You've been on a few, but you're in a new place. I'm in a new place. What have you learned from, or what's changed for you, or what's changed in my conversations with people, if it has at all, with these new people that we're bringing onto a conversation? What are you seeing when you see me have a conversation with people?
Ask it a different way.
You know, when we do our three ways, what
Ask
is,
me that question a little different.
what do you do? What do you see is what is the result of our conversation? How did we get to that point of the conversation? And what are you seeing that's a pattern when we do a three-way with a new prospect that causes them, I mean, because they're all wildly different people.
Yeah.
But what's the thing that you see that's consistent in it? What do you enjoy about it?
You know me, I'm all the feels. I love the love. I love seeing the love. I love seeing you sit in a place of love, whether they're going to, that was real country there, whether they are going to join us or not. You sit in love and you hold them accountable for them. And the reason I say that is because it's allowing me, I'm not looking at the camera because I'm thinking when I'm not looking at the camera. It allows me, I'm seeing myself sit in love more, and I'm seeing myself be fine with letting people make their own decisions more, and me being in love and joy no matter what. I'm seeing you accept people instantly as if they're part of your community, whether they choose to be or not. Does that make sense how I'm saying that?
Mm-hmm. To me, it does.
Hope it makes sense to everybody else. I enjoy seeing that people are unintentionally answering their own questions. But you know, that's what he does. He's helping me learn that is walk people through their own thinking. He's about to fall over. Walk people through their own thinking.
Don't tell anybody that. That's my secret sauce. I don't have to know.
You really don't have to know a lot. You just have to ask questions that'll make them ask themselves the questions. They've got the answers. They might be piled under a whole bunch of crap that people have put on top of them, or they've allowed themselves to pick up because maybe one person has spoke something over them. But it's really asking the questions. And here lately, Sean and I have found ourselves on Zoom a lot together here lately. But y'all, I get to sit and watch him do this. And sitting in, did y'all hear that big sound? That was crazy. We've got a deer cannon out a couple of pastures over, and it's really loud. So if it sounds like dynamite's in the background, it is. So I guess to sum up my answer is, Sean, I'm seeing how you honestly just sit there and ask the right questions, but you do it in a place of acceptance, no matter their answers, and no matter if they even know the answers. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
if they're looking for something they've never done, they've got to come up with the reason, right? It's that point A to point B. We're having a conversation at point B. Whenever we get off the call, if we get off the call, they're going to wind up at a point B. And if they don't remember the answer to take action at point B, they're never going to get going.
yeah, the question I really liked on here was, are you being public and not seen? And I think I like that a whole lot because I was doing that. I was doing it a lot. And now y'all see me showing up on doing, retarded TikTok videos and being silly and, literally exposing all my whiteness on social media. But if you walked around in my world with me, that's who I am. I'm this goofball, crazy with an attitude. Yeah, I'm like bright white, but I got this black girl inside of me that loves to come out all the time. And my husband never knows what's coming out of my mouth. My daughter reflects everything about me. My friends know that if they need to be hit square in the between the eyes with truth out of love, that they call me. But they know that I'm going to back it up and ask them some questions Well, that's funny. That just came to me. Anytime any of my Bible study people call me and they're like, this is what I'm doing, I need to pray about it, or what should I do? The first thing I ask them is, have you asked God? That's funny, Sean. I do it in my spiritual walk. I just don't do it in this. Y'all, that's a big awakening right now. Boom. Y'all see it? Head exploded. I ask them, have you asked God? And they always go, I knew you were going to ask me that. And I'm like, I ain't your savior. And I don't know all your answers. I know my answers because I talked to him. So this whole, are you being public and not seen? I want to see what it would be like if I was your best friend. That's what I want to see on your social media. And that's what I'm beginning to do now. So y'all see goofy fishing stuff, and you see goofy videos, and you see all this crazy stuff coming out of me. And when he said it this morning, are you being public and not seen? I'm like, no, not anymore. And then I was like, oh, and then I wrote down, I don't know, y'all probably get tired of hearing all my epiphanies, but I wrote down, this will make you go, what, Sean? The world doesn't need another Jesus. Go be you. And when they are attracted to you because of the development Christ has done in you, and they ask you where that came from, you can tell them the development Christ has done in me. So what fear stops me from speaking out more if Christ is in me? And what or who says I'm not good enough if Christ is in me? So I don't have to be Jesus. Thank God, because I am not. And the world doesn't need another Jesus. The world needs Rhonda. And thank God there's only one of this Rhonda, because the world couldn't handle two. It would be a disaster. But why not fill the world with as much of me that God has put in me? And if anyone ever asks me, how'd you get that way? Show them the way through themselves. So all the questions that have been asked today can really be wrapped up in that one statement. Are you being public and not seen? This is why we like this community. This is why we like these calls, because everybody shows up real. And we have laughter, and we have tears, and we have joy, and we have questions, and we have, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened. And then we have, oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear, like Brianna singing, oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear her sing. Never on any other business call is someone going to go, Brianna, can you sing, please? So I guess the question I'm going to walk away is, can I provide a place for people to be public and seen at the same time? And will I make them feel secure enough that they'll do that, and then they can begin to go do that somewhere else and not be worried about what other people are thinking? Because the love that I've given them and the love that they'll see inside themselves, can I make them fall in love with themselves enough to remove all the other thoughts anyone else has placed on top of them? And they can all look at those thoughts and go, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. All this is me, and this is what I'm going to show the world. So there's a long answer to one question you asked me, Sean. So there you go, for what that's worth. I hope that helps somebody else. It's helped me a whole heck of a lot. So.
Well, this call is pretty much all about you, so.
Stop it.
Is it
Everybody did get really quiet. Is anybody still on here?
Yeah, we got. So is it Micaiah? M-I-Q-K-Y-A?
Yes, it's Micaiah.
Oh my gosh, hang on. Just freeze for just a second. Say something again so you show back up on screen.
My name is Micaiah.
Oh my God, what a beautiful smile. I love your hair. The amount of time it took to do that. Before anything happens, I just want to say thank you for showing up in my world today. How can
Thank you so much. No, thank you. This morning I woke up, it was probably a little bit past 8, so I didn't know if like the call was still going on. And I just clicked it, and it was, and I was so happy. And to be completely honest, I have never even like heard of you before. So I'm like, oh my gosh, these people just answer all my questions. I would never get in front of a camera. Like I would always record myself, but a Zoom call with people on it, I would never actually like get on. I would dream of the day that I actually do. And now I'm actually like trying to get uncomfortable. So it's like, I don't know, it feels absolutely refreshing that you guys helped me get to this point. Also, I have a question. So lately I've been thinking that I'm not spiritual, but I'm actually, yeah, I'm spiritual, not religious. So it is confusing to me sometimes because I'm like, I pray to God every day in Jesus' name. But sometimes I'm like, I think the universe is speaking to me. Lately I've been seeing like numbers and I'm like, what does this number mean? And I think the number was like 444, 555. And it was like, you're going to say a prayer that's going to change your life. And then I went into my notes and I started to write a prayer and I'll read it for you. It said, I said, dear God, I value my time. I have financial freedom. We have created generational wealth. I am guided, directed, protected, and defended. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am blessed and highly favored. I am grateful for the blessings and lessons that has come before me and that is to come. I'm optimistically in abundance. I am with peace. May those who I love and those who love me be the same. Amen. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I'm just, yeah, but I just want to thank you guys so much because this is absolutely a stepping stone. And I was not gonna get on this call either because I'm also into Forex. So I do a little bit of network marketing, and it's like what I really love to do is dance. That is my passion. I actually tore my ACL and my meniscus on both sides, but I'm trying to recover from that. So I really, I don't know. I have a lot of things I would like to do. I feel like I'm the most creative person I've ever met. So yeah.
So Micaiah, did you see Leo earlier? Did you happen to be on the call?
Yes, I did. Like I was here for that. I was here for that.
And he will absolutely give you some work or whatever you need to do to help with strengthening your ACL on the inside, outside, and he'll help you because he loves to help people get back to dancing again. So he'll
yes, that would be wonderful.
And so where do I hear your accent from? Where does your history come from? Where does your family come from?
I'm from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Okay.
US.
So are you there now?
No, I'm currently in Georgia.
So do you know Brianna?
No, I do not. Which Brianna, actually?
Brianna is on this call. She may still be on here, but she's from St. Thomas.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, I have to see.
So Brianna's from St. Thomas. She's actually lives there. She's not too far from Charlotte or Molly Bay. I used to live in Puerto Rico, and I used to go to St. Thomas every week for work, dealing with WAPA, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I loved you from the second I saw you. So here's the thing. Thank you for showing up today.
Yes.
Give yourself a little reward for showing up today. I don't care if it's a coffee or singing a song that you haven't sang in a while, singing out loud, doing whatever, because you broke a pattern today that can that'll never need to be broken again.
Yes. Thank you.
And there's Brianna. She's saying, she's asking now, so how'd you find this call? She's wondering how you found this call.
Oh, because I was in a group chat and Nino's notifications come up and I seen this. And yeah, I clicked it because I always look forward to Nino's calls.
So were you here when Nina was on the call?
No, I wasn't. I actually woke up late.
Okay, so just FYI, he gets on here, and the reason that all of those notifications you get is he gives me credit for it. He's the one that's done it all, but I'm the one that helped him to get all this started for him. So I'm kind of his mentor. So thank you for showing up here. Thank you for following your heart to get on the call. And just know that you're this amazing, beautiful soul who has so much to give the world. And you're a powerful, strong woman. And you are very artistic. I mean, you do not have hair like that, especially the one with the little inner white weaving of the lighter color. Yeah, you're just this beautiful soul, and that smile, oh my gosh. People fall in love with you with just the smile, so don't ever keep that hidden.
Thank you so much. Thank
Uh,
you so
Rhonda, what'd you hear in the prayer?
I heard some God's word in the prayer is what I heard, and I like that. I have my 8-year-old daughter has been praying since she was 5, and she prays that prayer over herself of no weapon formed against me shall prosper, no plague shall darken my doorstep. She's the head, she's not the tail, and he goes before her and he comes behind her. And so when you said that, I was like, come on, girl, come on. And so then I had one verse I wanted to share with you. It's Psalm 16:11. And it says, you will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. So as you sit in his word and as you speak that over your life, sit in knowing that you are speaking to the maker of the universe, and he's got everything under control. He's got the timing of your healing under control. He's got your steps after healing under control. And then you remind your body that because you are a follower of Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit lives inside of you. And if he lives inside of you, every cell inside your body must line up with the word of God that is healed, and it comes into perfect alignment, and it will work the way he has designed it to work, because he's inside of you and your body is the temple of the Lord. Speak that over your knees, speak that over your ACLs, speak that over your MCL and your PCL, make them line up in healing, and know that everything after this is a God-ordained step. And whenever this happened, God says in the Bible, whatever the enemy throws at you, he will flip it and turn it for his good. So praise him for the downtime and the rest that these injuries have allowed you, and ask him to do whatever it is you needed to be done inside you during this moment of stillness, because there's seasons and there's times to work and there's times to rest. That's all in Ecclesiastes. You can look it up. And praise him for these moments to just sit in his presence when you can't dance and move at the moment.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Wonderful to meet you, and you're absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for being here today.
Lots of love to you.
Daniela. Hello, Daniela, my love.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
Amazing. How are you?
Good. Good. I just want to share with you something that you were just talking, Rhonda was just talking about it. And like lately I've been hearing a lot about the ego. You know, it's just like everything is being.
Say it. The
What
ego.
is it?
I love the way you said it. The ego.
And you know, I've been being consistent with my devotional, and you know, every time I talk to God, I tell him like, just use me as an instrument of love. You know, I just want to be the instrument of love. That's all I want to be. You know. And last week, I did something that I'm really proud of, and I know I was just being the instrument of love. You know, I don't give credit to myself. It's just like I know he works through me with the things that, you know, that I've done. And I also, you know, I just thought about it when Rhonda was talking about it, and I thought that that's giving up, like, you know, that's telling the ego like to shut up, you know, because you're not taking credit of anything. You know, you're just working through him, right? So it's just being crazy, and you know, because I've been hearing a lot about ego, and I also like sometimes I just look at people, you know, I just like I was working yesterday and I was looking like how people just work and how people just talk, and I can I can see ego part, like, like when ego show up, I can see it. And it's something that I've been working of myself a lot, because I know that sometimes when we talk and when we act, or the way we respond, is not me, is the ego showing up, So, I've been into this topic a lot, and I want to learn more about it. I don't know if you have any recommendations that I can maybe read or watch about this, and just keep working on this.
So, a couple of things. One, anything by Brene Brown or Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a good one would be Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That's his second book. The first one was kind of a Sears and Roebuck blueprint of mind and capacity, but the second one, how to break the habit of being yourself, is a good one. And I would encourage you. A lot of times, it's good to hear audible books. Audio is better, only because it's not our mind when we read it. Unless you have consumed Joe Dispenza at a cellular level, you don't hear his words when you're reading the book. You hear your words, and the old story's going, and the ego is showing up while you're reading the book about breaking your ego, convincing you that you shouldn't read the book, put the book back down, do this, do that. But if you listen to it, you hear it at a whole nother level, and the ego can't have any authority over but to listen, because you're hearing it in a different voice. So that's why I encourage audiobooks to my students, even if they love to read, because the audio allows you to hear it from a different place. So that's a good one. Wallace D. Wattles, Science of Getting Rich. If you like blueprint stuff, that would be a good one. Yeah. Lynn Grabhorn's Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting.
Perfect.
So there you go.
Love it. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you. Hey, Brittney.
Oh my God. So, okay, y'all. So I was like on this very long phone call, so I had to get off the call, and I can't believe that y'all but I don't know if this is super fast speed. I realized something. I had an epiphany. And I am so grateful for Sean, Nana, Rhonda, this whole entire community. Brandon, this kind of just sparked something within me too, all of the discourse and communication. And what I realized, so this is what I learned. This is also what I love. What I've realized is that, so this is I can't even put it into words. And this is what Sean is already saying. And I understand you. I feel you, Sean. And the Brittney that y'all met before was my shadow self. What I realized was that who I am right now today, since I had my epiphany, is who I've already always been. But I allowed an experience to knock me off my square. And I believe that every other people also go through it as well. And this goes back to the feeling of joy and misery, and wanting to sit and swallow in misery, because this also goes back to what Leo was saying. He was saying that he was afraid of the responsibility. And I felt that way about bigger, larger, stronger, more powerful than anything, any type of negative feeling. Who am I to tell myself that I cannot be as responsible as I want myself to be? And what I realized is that you can only be what you think yourself to be. So if you think of yourself to be the thing, it's all about self-mastery. And I know all of my words are jumbling up because I'm so excited, but because it's just like I finally figured it out. And it's really all about self-mastery. The things that we say to ourselves, if you are not who you want to be right now, instead of looking at the right now as this is how it's always going to be, you need to know, what is this running towards me? A cat? What is that? Okay. What is that? A dog? There's a wild animal. If don't think of your circumstance of right now, everything is in a state of impermanence, right? So everything is extremely temporary, but we allow our minds to trick us and make us think that they are permanent and everlasting. We literally change every single second. So we know that the opportunity for change is there. We just have to realize it. We already know the answers to our questions that we have. And even if we have to question it in the first place, you should know then that you already have the answer.
Girl, you a whole beast. Come on, keep going, girl.
But we
Brittney.
allow these things to come into our life and dive. I can't hear
Who
it
is
breaking
this
up.
person
Oh,
today?
Oh, she ain't done. She ain't done. Hold on.
I couldn't hear it was breaking up.
Hey, Brittney, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you say you came back to the call and then you found us still here?
Yes, I was on a phone call for like, let me see how long I was on the phone.
Okay, well, hold on.
I was
Brittany,
on the phone for 38 minutes.
Brittany, did you
Yes.
hear Sean mention your name when Micaiah came on?
No. I came on when she was telling Micaiah that she was gorgeous, which she absolutely is.
So you were called back to this call?
No way.
Yeah. You guys
What
all heard
happened?
it.
Yeah, way.
So, what happened? What happened? Clue me in.
Yeah, no joke.
What happened?
You basically, your name was mentioned, like, I feel like 3 or 4 times during the period of the call when you weren't on it.
Oh, that's so sweet, guys. I'm so glad that I can be in your hearts at all times. Thank you.
Well, and then you brought it.
That's so crazy. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Okay, so you see what I'm saying? Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And I realize, as we all should realize, that, and Sean was talking about this today, it's crazy. So when you wire of who you are for, and you attract so much more that you don't even have to put in that much work. And now I understand what he means by do less and be more. Do less as far as just being in your original state. Because if you let go of the facade, you let go of the lies, you let go to all of the shit, excuse my language, that don't really serve you, that's not really who you are, or let go of the people that's not a part of who you are, let go of your habits that's not really a part of who you are and not serving you. You're literally just in yourself. And you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to say, is this what I should be doing? Should I not be doing? If you have to question it, you know that it's not a part of your original form, your original energy. So therefore, you should not participate in it. And once you allow all those things to be let go, you can literally not do anything. You can just exist as yourself and you don't have to think about anything. Like, it's just so crazy. How did I allow myself to be blocked from knowing this? Because this is something that I already knew. And it took for Sean, Nano, Rhonda, everybody to have the conversation, which is another thing that I realized, is that once you speak things out loud, especially negative things, hey, I release this thing, whatever it is that you blocking it, because we keep these thoughts in our head and we sit and they fester and they tumble around in our minds, and they're just there, right? They're just there, and we're holding on to them. But once you speak them out, like, you know what, can I curse on here? Okay, I'm not gonna curse. But like, if you be like, you know what, I effed up, that's okay. So I effed up and I forgive myself. And moving forward, I'm gonna fix it. And I'm not gonna do this thing anymore, you know? And you let it out there and you release it and you come to terms with it instead of sitting in denial, then only then can you be free. Oh, why didn't I realize this before? Oh, I'm so happy. I feel so free, y'all. Like, and I just hope everybody else feels this. Like, I can't wait until everybody else. I cannot wait I can't wait. Like this quarantine is doing something. I feel like we about to go back to the hippie days. Everybody just gonna be so calm and serene and one with themselves. Like
Your
it's
energy.
just gonna, and
I
we
love it.
just yes, and we just gonna be all free and chill, no stresses, no worries. We don't worry about if ain't nobody signing up because we not worried about that. We not worried about the rain. I ain't worried about none of that. I'm just outside, cheese, hey, sending my love out to
Man,
everybody.
serve
And
me a
whatever
cup
you
of
do,
whatever
that
she's
is on
having.
you.
Yeah,
It's really
her
just
energy is through the
realization.
roof.
Is that Britt Sean?
Of course it is.
They're gonna tell me nothing.
Brittany, you are freaking amazing. That you're experiencing, that's heaven on earth right there. That's freedom.
Okay, wait, I got kicked off.
Girl.
I
Now
got
the,
kicked off.
now the
Me
new
too.
name is Brashonda.
Yes.
Did we lose her? Where
Brittany.
are you, Brittany?
No, I'm back on here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
She got so
yeah,
excited, the enemy had to just shut her.
Where's the signal? Oh my God.
He's trying to interrupt y'all.
Everybody keeps getting cut off.
Okay, am I here?
Yes, you're here.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, and it's not even that I just all of a sudden have this boost of energy. Anyone that's known me prior to, because I sat in this funk for years, y'all. I've been in this funk since like 2014. No, probably like 2013. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it, and I just realized I'm like, hey, the way I feel, can y'all hear me? Damn.
I can hear
Loud
you.
and
I can hear
clear.
you loud
You're
and
loud
We
clear,
can
and
hear you. We
baby.
can hear you.
Okay. And the way I feel today is the way I felt back in 2013 before I allowed that block. Because it's once I hit that first block, I sat in that block for so long that I allowed other energy of other blockages to enter into my life because I tricked myself into thinking that that block was something that I needed and I became attached to it and therefore I became the blockage. I was my own blockage. And like once you realize that you have to let all of those blockages go and get out of your own effing way. I think that's the name of a book. Once you just get out of your own way and you can go back to being yourself and being in your true essence, then everything that you need, everything that you want, everything that you desire is literally already done. And I know that we say anybody that's in the business that we have, we already say it's already done, but I was just like, oh, it's already done. But I didn't understand it. But now I understand what it means to say it's already done. Why is it already done? Because I had desired it to be, and I am not creating any blockages for it not to be. So why is it not gonna? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in the time that it needs to happen. And when you align yourself with who you are, everything, the resources are literally just gonna start piling up right in front of you. It's not about chasing. Why chase what you can attract? Just simply by being yourself and in your essence. Y'all, I just can't believe I ain't get this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm done.
You got it now.
Yo, and I was like, I need to share this with the family because if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Yes, that's the word.
There we go.
Wow.
That's all we work for.
Come on, girl.
Okay.
Come on.
You just
It's
a mirror.
really
Yeah,
all
girl.
about-
Come on.
Because that other shit you were doing, I couldn't do.
I know, and I kept saying, I was looking at you earlier today, and you was like, ugh, and I was like, okay, I understand how Sean feels. I'm like, Sean is just, at this point, he's fed up. Like, y'all, stop getting on my calls with this BS that y'all been fed, because we're not even about to keep talking about that. We're not even about to keep talking about that. I'm not about to keep talking about this with Sean. And I was like, I'd be damned if I get on here and let Sean down one more time. Because I owe him that. He pours in so much. Who would I be not to reciprocate? If I can't give him money, I need to at least give him my mind, my brain, and let him know that what it is that he's doing is actually working within me and through me. And now, since he passed it on and paid it forward and gave it to me, I can give it to others. And it's literally just the cycle of energy. And I cannot wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
And
It's
this
already
is what
started.
Sean lives for right there. That's what he
Yes.
lives for right there.
I can't wait.
400 episodes. I've been waiting for that. Thank you.
Okay, bye. I'm mute myself. I'm gonna mute myself now.
Wow.
Girl, you just keep on. You keep on feeling us. You're feeling us full, and it feels good to hear a different voice. We love it. Don't stop. Don't stop, girl.
The energy in her voice is changed so much.
That Lamborghini slowed down, but it's still going fast.
It's helping me. Thank you.
I'm glad we called you back.
I'm so like I am cheesing so much, my teeth are dry. My
I've got to quote you on that. I'm cheesing so much,
Said
my
I'm
teeth are
cheesing so
dry.
hard, my teeth are
She's so
dry.
tickled by
teeth are
herself.
dry.
That's a first.
What the hell was that?
I'm standing outside and the wind is blowing. Like,
What?
So much my teeth are dry. That one's
woo.
oh my God. So, Brittney, thank you. That there's nothing more in the world than that moment for me. I'm going to be very self-full here right now. That is exactly the awakening that I desire everyone to have. Because here's the thing. Now you're at this level, you can't go back, only if you choose to go back. But now imagine what this awakening is 10 times greater. And now that moving into the next level, 10 times greater. And it's this constant advancement of energy until at such point we vibrate at such a high energy, we fade away into nothingness because we've gone on. You have just stepped up. You have just stepped into you, right? You remembered this from 2013. You remembered this. Now you've come to it with all of the pain, with all of the suffering, with all of the trials, with all of the tribulations, and you've awakened to this to realize that was all joy as well. Because you can't sit here and look at any of that as it not being joy, because now you're in the state of joy. Everything is joy. And you did this. Yes, we pour into you. Yes, we fed the roots, but you're the one growing. You did all of this. You're the fruit that's showing up right now. You're the one that has us all laughing. You're the one that has us all in joy. You're the one that has us all going, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Is that her? Is that her? How did this happen? What did she do? What did she do different? And all we need to do is see that you undressed fear and doubt. And you're standing there in faith and courage.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's all you are. Your faith and courage. There's not another outfit you can put on that'll look any sexier or look less sexier. There's not another word you could say that'll be more influential or less influential, because right now you stand in faith and courage. Nothing can leave your body without it inspiring somebody. And you don't have to worry a damn thing about what it is, because you're staying true to you. And when you stay true to you, somebody goes, if she could do it, I could do it. You said it. The only reason you can say that now is because everything up until this moment, you didn't want anybody to do what you do. You didn't want anybody to have to be in misery. You didn't want anybody to be in pain, but you want everybody to experience what you're experiencing now. So you say the words that comes from your heart. If I can do it, you can do it. You're standing in faith and courage. You still don't know what the hell is going to happen tomorrow. Neither do I. It gives us unlimited possibility. If you could do it, I could do it. And let me tell you, you fired up some people here that ain't nobody else. Listen, so now it's going to be RBP. What do you think? And then it's going to be Brittney. What do you think?
I'm qualified? Did I just certify myself? Oh, wow.
Girl, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Brittney, I got a question.
Okay.
Brittney, what happened yesterday that catapulted you into this thinking?
I can't say on this platform.
Okay,
we
now
all
you
know
gotta
what that
say.
means. We all know what that means.
I'm weak.
Hey, I'm honest.
Somebody rubbed her back right.
We'll just say you have release.
Y'all, I don't know. It's not sexual.
That's
Oh,
wild.
you're killing me.
Here's the thing. If it can happen for Brittney, it can happen for all of us. It's as close as your skin. Right there, personal mastery. What is it? Emotional mastery, physical mastery. If it was waiting. So the thing was, it was never waiting. It was always there. And when she finally awakened to it, it was right there. You don't have to awaken to it and then be scared going, okay, I'm ready. And then wait. There is no ready and wait. It's already there. Everything that she's wanted has already been there since 2013, because she said, I remembered this. I remember this feeling. It's always there. 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 And when you decide to take that mask off, when you decide to take off fear and doubt, the fur coat, the whatever you want to be cloaked in is right there, ready to be put on, faith and courage. And it showed up and she's like, oh my God, it's here. It's here. That's all I had to do. Because I can promise you, when she realizes what she had to do, it really wasn't anything that she had to do. It's like, well, that was easy. It's like the button from Office Max, right? That was easy. And then we hear this fire. Where was that fire? That fire was already inside of her. Where was that voice? That voice was inside of her. There was not a like. There was not a, well, like this or like that or like this. And then I like this. And then I did that over here and like it. It was like that. There wasn't a single like at all of that. There was a consciousness unlike any other we have heard. There was a connectedness of any like we've never heard before, but it was always who she is. That's why we love it, because we know that's who she is. And it's like, ooh, that's who she is, man. That took a whole new step up. Talk about leveling up. That was fun. Who had fun listening to that? Who's going to go back and listen to that recording? That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
That was fun. Ashley, you got your hand up.
It's interesting because it had me think about something. So I sent a post to Rhonda yesterday where you always talk about do less and become more. And I think, and when you were talking about unlocking what was already there, to me, it's a choice. So I think the doing less to become more is whether or not you decide to be in your authenticity or the facade that you put up because you're afraid people are not going to be able to handle the full you in yourself.
Yeah. How many people, how many of the other, we're now at 29, how many of the other 70 people who were on this call earlier would have absolutely been blown away by it? That's Brittney. That's who? That's the
exactly.
Chick with the bunny ears? Is that the chick with the bunny ears? That ain't the girl with the bunny ears. She can have fun with the bunny ears. But this comes back to, in this moment, choose joy or choose misery.
Right. It's so simple. It's literally so simple.
Listen, I'm working on trying to get as smart as an earthworm. If I can leave all of this behind and just become as smart as an earthworm, moving through the dirt, loving life, every now and then somebody digs me up and I squirrel around and I hope they don't cut me in half, but if they do, I'll grow into 2 more.
Right.
Just be an earth. Can we be as joyful as a bird? Can we be as joyful as a frog who sits on a pad at night and just all they doing is just croaks and just sings? Why do we have to be so smart about this? Listen, Brittney became brilliant in that last release, but there was nothing she had to think about.
Uh-uh.
Could you imagine how
all.
long it would have taken to write that script?
A while,
She'd have never got it
because
because
it's too much thinking.
yeah, she'd have thought herself right the hell out of that. But her damn girl showed up, and that's all she did was just do what she do.
That's crazy. It's not crazy, but like,
But
it's really simple. Like, that's almost so, it's not even so simple that it's stupid, but like, because it's funny because
we consider the earthworm stupid, and it's the one out there going, y'all got a virus? What's going on out there? I just ate some dirt. I just pooped over there and the flowers are growing. I'm pretty important here right now.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah, like I'm gonna stop you.
I want to relate this back. This just popped into my head when Ashley was speaking. And because I was able to, because I was able to be originally authentically unbothered in myself, I knew what that felt like. And when I was blocked in, I knew that that was not it. That wasn't the energy or the source, which makes me understand and comprehend so much more why it's so easy for me to see when other people have what's the word I'm looking, primary, just me. If me, myself, and I am me, myself, and I can tell when other people aren't being themselves and them. I don't know how it goes, but you know, when people aren't being them, because I have also worn the mask, but I have also been unmasked. I was unmasked, I masked myself, and then I unmasked myself again. So I can tell when people have a mask on, because it's like, wait, the energy of who I am unmasked doesn't combine with yours and multiply. It combines with yours, and it puts it more as a shadow, which lets me know that the energy that you're emitting from yourself and your source and your energy is not original. Does that make sense? That's kind of like if I've tried to feed my cat fake meat before just to see if she would eat it, and she's like, no. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like, okay, raw meat, yes, good, real source energy, I want it, give it to me, I like it, I crave it. But if you put something fake, genetically modified in front of me, I'm gonna be like, bleh, you know, and it's gonna be like, ew, you know what? You're distasteful. You taste nasty. You need to grow to be organic. And so that kind of makes sense. Wow, this is a God-given gift. I can't wait.
So now, Britt, I'm gonna say this. Never lose your joy because they're in their mask.
Period. I realized that. I realized because
now nobody's stupid. Now nobody's stupid. Now you can actually go, oh, like a little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you and this is my grandmother, maybe not too many people, but when you're so still and stable in your foundation of who you are, this is the definition of truly being unbothered, because you are just in your essence, and things that are just not in your essence just don't even have the ability to come into your environment and uproot you. Who are you or what are you if you're not, fertilized soil, water, and sun? You cannot move me. You cannot grow me. If you are not there to grow me, you cannot bother me, because I am so rooted in who I am. This is how you are unbothered, not just by simply ignoring shit. You just don't say, I don't care, because that's what I used to do all the time. I used to do that all the time, like, I don't care, whole time, be caring, really a lot. So now it's like, okay, you know what? I'm right and I'm rich. Let's move on.
Boy, oh boy,
being
you
authentic
rubbed off on
really
her
what it
the
is.
right way.
You rooted in your authenticity, so nothing wavers.
Exactly. Nothing. If you're not there to grow me, what you here for, baby? Like, what are you here for? Cut it off. Go away. Bye. Not even about to acknowledge you.
Go ahead.
The storm comes to the mountain, says, I am the storm. And the mountain looks back and says, I am the storm. Y'all get this? Now, when we've witnessed this since January. Brittney showing up, her saying sometimes the same thing and hearing the same answer and saying, I'm going to do that. And then showing up again, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that. Do the work. When you just show up and you listen, sometimes you heard me get a little vocal with her because the subconscious needed a little, hello, what you here for? And then all of a sudden this happens unexpectedly. She gets called back to a call. We're on a call now 3 hours. And she comes back and she has this revelation. She has this release. She has this awareness, this awakening. Sometimes all we got to do is just show up.
Yeah, her with that little voice. I have a question.
Excuse me. Hello.
And then I have one more.
But look what that. Yes, you can. Look what that one more got her, and that one more got her, and that one more got her. Right.
A big blossom.
Oh my
Boom.
gosh.
It
Yes.
compounds.
Whoever asked, could you say something? Yes, please. Somebody asked. And maybe it was compound. I don't know. Well, there you go, folks. How cool is this? Brittney, thank you. I love you, girl.
You guys are so welcome. I love you all so much.
So there you go. Just another day on a misfit call. I feel like Mr. Rogers. Well, there we go. So go and love yourself a little bit more. And I'm going to put my shoes back on and take my sweater off and put my jacket on. And you know what? We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of this Mental Misfits that we all are becoming. And I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Until then, bye for now. Y'all send some love to each other.
Bye,
y'all.
I love you, family.
Love you, my misfit family. Bye. Have a blessed, positive day filled with energy like Brittney.
I love you guys. Have a great
Man,
day.
Brittney is lit today. I'm loving it.
Brittney is lit.
Right? Thank you, Brittney.
Got a party in Georgia one day.
I'm a misfit.
Yeah, I'm a misfit.
We're all misfits.
Welcome to the party.
Oh, I can't wait for. How do I keep getting better? Well, just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. Love you all.
That's right.
Love you,
It's so
Sean.
good. So good. Love y'all.
Love you too, Rhonda.